gonna have to get a different beer.
Why?
Holy fuck! It tastes like it's.
Try that.
What does it taste like? It tastes like bourbon barrel.
It's
thing?
like bourbon barrel stuff.
Oh, I hate that. I hate bourbon barrel.
You'll
beer.
like it. It's got a bite, Ted.
Ted will like it because it kind of tastes like bourbon.
You can have it.
It's a little different.
No, Ted's not gonna.
I'll drink.
Whoa, and we're drinking. Oh man, Mark.
I'll have one beer.
Mark, didn't we talk about you don't feed the animals at the zoo? You don't give Ted alcohol.
Is that
on the
like
show.
when we're hanging out with Don? Don't poke the bear.
Don't poke. Oh,
That's what Andy always says. Don't poke the bear, please. Don't poke the bear.
But how can you not? You've got a guy who obviously, I mean, this last year when we went on our golf trip, he was really upset about a lot of things. Like, he was really angry about a lot of things, Don.
How can you be angry on a golf trip? Aren't you there to have fun?
He was mad about the food. He was mad about everything. And when Andy says
beef stroganoff,
Andy's right, because he can be very boisterous. Not like me. I'm moderately
Who's
boisterous.
the loud guy?
Yeah. But Andy's right. Don't poke the bear. But when he starts complaining about stuff, how do you not egg him on?
You know, Don called me today about 11 o'clock, and he was quite pleasant today.
Yeah, no, he is. He's super pleasant.
No, I know.
I think he's kind of like me. When he gets around other people, he just kind of knows what to say to get everybody riled up.
Don he always wants to have like a good time.
Yeah.
And
at your expense.
No. He doesn't. Yeah, at Matt's expense. Yeah. No. Anyway, let's move on.
All right.
So Ted and I are both back home from Minnesota.
Yeah.
We both went on retreats. Mine was different than Ted's.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. How was yours? What was yours? And we'll see how it was different from Ted's.
I just spent the week with my in-laws.
So yours was horrible. Ted, was yours a piece of shit too?
No, I spent 3 days with my family and like my two brother-in-laws and their family. So we had basically like 20 people in a large rented home. It was beautiful. There was like a basketball court. It was like 3.5 acres. It was like it's funny. It was like in a neighborhood, but like our place was like it was gated. So you actually had to punch a code to get in. But it wasn't like a gated community. It was just a gate to get into.
Wait, did
the
you stay
property.
at Paisley Park?
That's Prince's place, right?
You stayed at Prince's place?
No.
Wait a minute.
He
Hold on.
just described Prince's place.
Oh, no.
Basketball court.
Basketball court, yeah.
Recording studio.
No recording studio. Yeah.
Guitars.
The shirts against the blouse.
No, I had a good time.
Air conditioning was really good.
I
yeah.
actually love my in-laws, so I enjoy going there every year. So Ted, Minnesota, we ready to move?
I like it.
What it's
No, it's the wintertime.
Mark's got a phone call.
It was
so
a scam likely. I don't know this guy.
You should answer it on the
He
air.
calls me all the time.
Answer
I looked
it.
him up. It's not a real name.
Yeah.
Scam likely.
Oh,
I think he went to Lane. I think he's a Lane guy.
Oh,
Next
my
time,
God.
actually, we should if we ever get a call like that, we should answer it on the air and just have a
Oh, I
conversation.
should have. I could still do it. Ready?
Yeah, no, let's not.
Okay.
Let's
I
never
could-
do
I could
that.
still do it.
No, you know what, Mark? You know what I want to do instead of finding out what Ted did on his vacation, which I really don't want to know. And honestly, he's only been back for 2 days, and I've heard it 4 times already.
It's that much.
Yeah, well, we were golfing today. So
Oh,
he
that's right,
told
okay.
me on the first hole, then he forgot he told me on the first hole, told me on the 4th hole. Yeah.
So I'll tell you just so so I obviously we had a lot of downtime because I just we went to Mall of America, which is
MOA.
for kids. It's fun, and went to some.
love Mall of
We went to some
America.
ethnic market where we had some good faux noodle soup, so that was I actually enjoyed that. But so I had a lot of downtime, so I spent a lot of time watching TV. So the TV I was watching just had YouTube. There's no cable TV, so I'm watching old golf. So I'm watching Tiger Woods win his 3rd national amateur title. And it's like what 1995 or 2 or
Yeah,
whatever.
something like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So obviously he's never won on tour. So it's funny. Like they're talking about the kid he's playing against, and the kid they interviewed him, and this kid was winning the entire match until Tiger Woods came back and beat him at the last. Like Tiger Woods is down 2 with like 3 to play, and this kid is saying like they were interviewing the other kid who's never been heard from ever again, and he said, yeah, he goes, I know I'm not Jack Nicklaus, but I do want to win a few majors.
The other kid said that?
The other kid said that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not like this piece of shit that I'm playing.
Yeah, exactly.
What's his name? Tiger? Lion?
Tiger.
Yeah, never even.
Yeah.
What kind of name is that?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll never get a chance. Yeah, he's absolutely.
I watched
garbage.
those. Speaking of Tiger Woods, I was on my Instagram feed. I get these commercials all the time, and I remember the old Nike commercials with his stuffed animal, the tiger. What was his name? Frank.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Where
I
they
have
they
no
give
idea.
his club head covers a tiger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they give him. He's like in the commercials. He's a real person.
His club head cover is a real person?
It's like his caddy in real life. And in the commercials, the Nike commercials. So there's one commercial where Tiger's on the tee box, and he's like pacing back and forth, and he gets on his phone and he calls him, and this tiger head cover is sitting at a table, and across from him is a poodle head cover, female poodle head cover, and he's like, yeah, Tiger, I'm at the 19th hole. I got a gimme. I'm on the 19th hole. And he's like, Frank, I'm on the tee box. Where are you, man? He's like, I'm at the 19th hole, and I got a gimme. And he's like, dude, you better get here. And he's like, no comprende. And he hangs up on him.
Oh my God! Wait, Tiger Woods.
It's really funny commercials. They're really good. They're really well done.
I don't really recall Tiger Woods being in any like silly commercials. I mean, I'm sure he has been back in the day.
Yeah, he did the ESPN, a couple ESPN ones, but the Nike ones were all comedic. That's when they were doing all those funny ones with Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
And they had Little McGrady.
No, Little Penny.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
Penny
sorry,
Hardaway,
Little
Penny
Penny.
Hardaway, and
Yeah.
then Little Penny. He goes, that's Tyra Banks, fool.
Yeah. Hey, Tyra, you left a toothbrush at my house.
Little Penny. It's like a little Gumby doll talking.
Oh my God!
You left a toothbrush at my house.
That's awesome.
That's who does the voice there? It's Chris Rock.
Oh, it's Chris Rock doing that. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, doing Little Penny. Yeah.
Little Penny? Yeah, that was
No
awesome.
wonder I always wanted to slap that little dot. Oh, sorry, no, it's terrible. All right, Mark, we got to talk Ted out of or into buying a new car.
TED Talk, good car talk.
Actually, the car I was just in to get here, I really like that car, so I'm actually going to look into a car very similar to that.
What
It's
is
actually-
it?
No, you're
was,
not.
It was a Buick Regal. It was like 2017.
What are you,
Buick
85
Regal.
years
No,
old?
they redesigned it. No, I know it's
Holy
I know,
crap!
No, I know Buick's like an
dude.
old man car.
Oh,
but no,
I
they-
know because Tiger sponsors Buick, so we're on the Tiger.
No,
talk.
he sponsors.
no.
Didn't he crash when the car he crashed? Wasn't it like a Hyundai Genesis or something? It was a Genesis Open. Remember they gave him a car like Tiger Woods needs a
Yeah,
brand
but
new
he
car.
didn't know. But he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. He claims he didn't know how to drive that car.
No,
It's
He's very
Wait.
unfamiliar.
No, it
with
was
that
it was
car.
a Genesis.
car.
It was a Genesis Open. So like Tiger Woods is already a billionaire. So I guess the sponsor gives the guy a free car, like
Well, they
as
give
if he
everybody.
needs it.
Yeah, everybody gets a
So
free car.
he's driving his own car. Why? And then obviously he doesn't know what the road is. He ran off the road and into a big gorge. You know?
Well, Ted, he was completely unfamiliar with it. This one had a steering, not a steering wheel, but a steering square. So that was a little weird for him. And the pedals were all opposite. Yeah, brake was gas, gas was brake. Yeah,
Did you know that? What the hell's the actor's name now?
I have no
Who's
idea.
the actor? Happy Gilmore.
Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
Worst of all time.
So
Oh, my
Adam
God.
Sandler, I guess this is the thing that he gives like his co-stars. He buys them new cars.
Well, yeah, you're going to be in the world's shittiest movie. You have to get something out of it.
Dude, I never thought about that.
John,
but yeah, he's
John
like, thank you for doing
John
this.
Turturro must have like 20 cars then, right? Because he's in like every movie. Isn't it? He has,
every Adam Sandler movie, is he?
It's always like Rod Schneider, John Turturro. Those two guys
Yeah.
are always in this every.
Well, I
movie.
guess he was in a movie with I can't remember who it was telling the story. I don't think it was Matt Damon. It was somebody else. But
He gave Matt Damon a car.
no, it wasn't Matt Damon. I'm sorry, it was not Matt Damon. I forgot who it was.
A
It was
Buick Regal.
Yeah.
It was another comedian, and no, he bought him like a Lamborghini or Porsche or something. I mean, like,
But why would you? I mean, hold on a second.
makes 20
cars,
million.
but cars are special, right? Cars are something that you really like. If somebody just gives you a car, I mean,
yes. What are you going to do with a car?
And by the
that
way,
you don't
I've been in
want?
a Lamborghini. Jack and I went to one of those car shows. It's almost impossible to get into that thing,
The new Corvettes are like that,
dude. It is the smallest,
Yeah.
downest.
Yeah.
It's not even comfortable.
It's
and,
very
and
low. The new
Jackson's-
Corvettes
yeah.
are just
It's
like,
like,
Jackson's like
it's like a
6'4".
death, it's like a death trap. I
No,
mean,
but-
I've been in like a sports. Yeah, you're like basically sitting on the ground, and if you get hit with by anyone or any like being on a smart car, right, you're just going to get crushed, right? You're dead.
I think it's completely opposite of a smart car, which is like 2 feet long. But no, I mean Jack at 6'4", he could not sit comfortably in almost any of these cars.
You know, it's funny you said that because speaking of celebrities that sponsored by car manufacturers, Michael Jordan was sponsored by Chevy back in the day. Remember in the early '90s,
Oh,
because
yeah.
he loved Corvettes. So when they redesigned that Corvette, I think it was the C5 maybe
No
C6,
way.
they consulted him. And I'm going to tell you, it's an
consulting a
absolutely true
basketball
story.
player.
And you know what they did? And it's absolutely true because at the time I was in college, I was selling Chevys. And Jordan had a car from the dealership I worked at, so we used to have to take him a car because they gave him a car and it ran through our dealership. Anyway, Jordan actually, they asked him, they were like into it. Like, what do you like about the Vet? What don't you like about the Vet? He goes, I'll tell you what I don't like about the Vet because he's a golfer. Can't get my golf clubs in it. If I go golfing, somebody has to bring my clubs. They won't fit in the car.
Wait a minute. He doesn't take a different car. He takes his
Right,
car,
right.
and someone follows behind
Right,
him.
because he wants to drive the Vet.
Someone
he loves the Vet.
follows behind him. With,
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe whoever he's golfing with meets him at his house or something. But so when they
That is the greatest thing
But
I've
listen,
ever
when they
heard.
redesigned that Corvette, they made it so that the back, you could fit a set of clubs in the back of it.
Just one set, not your buddy set.
No,
Just your,
one
just
set
your
of clubs. I swear to God, and they
What?
Yeah.
and they marketed
No slip
that
for
with
you.
his picture on it and stuff.
That is okay.
It's crazy, right?
That might be the most incredible thing ever if Michael Jordan drove himself and then just had somebody following behind him with his clubs.
Maybe he took the Blazer and he said, "I wish I could take my Corvette, but I can't." Maybe that's the story.
Was it
It's probably more realistic. I'm making up the part about somebody driving his clubs. Okay,
he would stick his delivery, his course, his clubs to the course.
Exist back then, but
Why wouldn't it, man? I would tell you, I would if I had reckless money. I would probably, like Teddy and I always talk about this, like if we won the lottery, what we would do and how we wouldn't go crazy with everything. But after a while, I would probably be like, oh, man, I want some eggs. Call the egg maker. And you're like, the cook? No. The guy who makes the eggs. I don't like the other chick who makes the other food. She doesn't make eggs good. Call the egg maker right now. Yeah.
you're hired.
Yeah. I would just feel like,
I would definitely, that would be the one thing and the only thing. And I probably wouldn't tell anybody. I guess you would have to, but I would have a personal chef.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like athletes and celebrities do.
Sure.
They're at their house from like
Actually,
7 a.m. to like 7 p.m.
Well, I don't want them in my house.
Personal trainer. I want a personal trainer.
Maybe they could just make the stuff at home and bring it to me.
Well, that's a thing too
I don't
now.
want-
Yeah, their prepared meals are easy. Yeah.
But wouldn't you have a different set of clubs instead of like taking your clubs from course? Like, wouldn't you have like a set? Like, if you let's say you love the course.
Oh, if you have a
Or say-
membership somewhere, you keep your clubs there.
Just keep your clubs somewhere.
No, you do.
No, you ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna have a membership anywhere.
No, I don't want a membership.
I absolutely go with I believe it's W.C. Fields' philosophy. I would never join a club that would have me as a member. No, I mean, because right now, I'm nobody, right? They would never, if I walked in, I'd be like, hey, you're a great country club. I want to do this. And it'd be like, yeah, please leave. And then I would get beaten outside, right? So I get beaten off premises.
It would be like
but
wherever you get thrown through the plate glass window and
but say the show just hit
beaten off premises.
I've always beaten off premises. But yeah, if the show became super huge and the three of us were the most popular people on the planet, and so we walked up and like, yes, now we want you to be part of our club, I would just be like, yeah, for sure.
I'm like, who are you?
Yeah. No, I would at first I would say absolutely not.
So I was listening to a podcast and during the commercials of the podcast, because it was on iHeartRadio. So every one of their commercials for some reason on this particular show, they have 3 commercial breaks. They were all commercials for podcasts on our iHeartRadio.
Yeah, that's what they
and
do.
so that's the first time I heard it, but it was 3 podcasts that I'd never heard of before. And one of them was there's an African American woman.
The real.
She was She it sounds like a great podcast. But anyway, she has one coming out, then there's a husband and wife have one out, and they're just
What's the
random
content?
I don't even know. But they're
You
people
don't need a premise.
But they're people that we don't know that are getting major publicity from iHeartRadio. And they haven't even broadcast one show yet. Not one show.
Wow.
And they're
What?
yeah. There's like
into that.
new.
So I am doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm clearly
How?
doing it
I mean,
wrong.
yeah, we're on episode what, 20?
Yep, 24.
24.
24.
Holy shit.
I believe actually.
No, this is 80, right?
80.
This is 80.
80 episodes, and none of us are rich.
I'm gonna write down these podcasts that I heard that aren't out yet. That just they're like our shows. They come out like once a week, and they have guests on. It's not like a.
But they're not famous people. They're just like
they're not famous
everyday
people at all. No, they're regular people. This guy is an Army veteran, and she's a housewife or something. And then this other woman is just like she just works, and then she's interviewing people.
So Ted's an Air Force veteran.
Yeah, I'm a veteran.
I would be anybody's wife if this.
No, but
made us
I want to
popular,
see. I want
would
to. No, we
absolutely
have
marry
80. What
anyone.
I'm saying is, we have 80 episodes. I'm going to write down the name of these podcasts. I'm going to follow them for the next 6 months and see if they last.
They won't.
They probably won't.
They won't because they don't have they don't have staying power. They don't have
neither
stupid
do
people
we.
like we do.
How do we get the publicity that iHeartRadio gave them? What did they do?
I have no idea.
What about that
We have to
voodoo that
find
you
out.
do? Yeah, it's
We
just-
we can absolutely find out.
So they went to iHeartRadio and said, we've never done a podcast before. And somehow the executives at iHeart said, you know what, we have faith in you. We're going to give you this before you even open your mouth one
Right.
time on
Not
in
one
front of the
podcast.
microphone.
And you know what I would say to them? Have they ever had anybody who's seen Bigfoot on their show?
or not only seen Bigfoot, but
interacted?
yeah,
Made the love to Bigfoot?
Fed-
we know that's what
Fed Bigfoot.
you know if
made the love to Bigfoot.
you know when we have her back on just to catch up, and you know we're going to
Ted,
do
that's
that.
a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
I made love with Bigfoot.
No, I made the love.
I made the love
I
with
made the
Bigfoot.
love to
No,
Bigfoot.
I'm sure they don't even know that there's such a thing as a penis museum.
No one does. No one does. I was pitching some ideas to some people, and I think I told you guys. And I told one of my favorite things is I go we had a fella on from the Phallicological Museum, and it always takes them. I can hear it in their head. The pause. Wait, that's And they always do this. That's a penis, right? And I go, yeah. They got a penis museum in Iceland, and they always ask me this: why? I go, wait, why not?
Like Pluto. Why
Yeah,
not?
but you know, but nobody knows that it's animal penises and things like that. So when you say it like you say it,
Don't they have?
everyone
They
just
have some
pictures
people
like,
penises in there. Remember, he said that.
oh, I don't know.
Human
I-
members, yeah.
I've already, and here I'll let it out of the hat or out of the pants. I've already talked to Thordor, and I have, when I die, I'm going to donate my penis to the museum.
over my dead body.
And it's gonna be under the most 10 times magnified
10
glass, so
times
we get
magnified
a
glass.
so we get a great look at it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be in a 6-foot coffin with magnetized.
Yeah.
Like when you take a big magnifying glass and your eye gets like this big.
Oh,
Can't
he really did have syphilis.
Wait, can't you see JFK? Isn't JFK like? Can't you go see his coffin or something, like his body or something?
You're thinking like Lenin, because Lenin in Russia, I guess they have his body laying in state, and I guess he looks the same as he did when he died in 1912.
Wait, who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Oh God! I
Unknown,
saw that Woody Woodpecker once.
unknown soldier.
Yeah, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. All right. Before we get to Ted's tips, have you guys ever heard of a phrase
Well,
called?
we have to start the show before we get to Ted's tips.
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll do that.
No,
but have you guys ever heard of a phrase called rolling coal?
No.
Rolling coal.
Is that like Roll
Our
Tide?
hillbilly. No,
Roll
no, no.
Tide? Is that Tennessee's version of Roll Tide?
It's kind of a hillbilly
Is it
thing.
a Tennessee
yeah,
thing?
most of our hillbilly friends. So here's what it is: if you own a diesel truck, you spend a few $100s, and actually it's about $500 or $600, to do something to your exhaust system, so that when you press a button,
Oh, the black smoke comes out.
black smoke comes
Yeah,
out.
these fucking jagoffs.
Right. And so now this is what they do. Like they get 3 or 4 guys in their big ass pickup trucks,
Yeah.
and they'll get onto the highway and they'll go across the highway and go real slow and fuck with people behind them.
And then,
right?
I've seen that
and
before.
then,
Yeah.
and then they, I don't know,
And
they look, they take their hands off their dicks and look
Yeah,
at each other
yeah.
and say, "Now press the button," and they press the button.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been looking at videos, and people are just driving, and I guess they target people that are, I mean, obvious people that drive electric cars,
Yeah.
people that people of
It's
color,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is
people they
unreal.
believe might be or support homosexuality.
Yeah.
They get all these, and they do all this, and they fuck with these people, and they do it. And I saw the videos, and it's almost like you can't see it.
Yeah, I
they
was gonna
did
say,
that and
it's like a
stopped.
smoke- yeah.
You would, I mean, they're not stupid, so they get, but you would slam right into them.
Yeah, because it creates like a smoke screen, right? It's like
It
it's
is
like
absolutely
throwing
like a
like a
smoke
smoke bomb, and
It's like
creates-
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm
Bugs
assuming
Bunny,
it's
Wile E.
I'm
Coyote.
assuming it's illegal. So if a police officer saw that, then
Oh
you know,
yeah. He'd pull over the guy in the pickup truck for sure.
If he
He'd
could-
absolutely pull over those 4 guys that are probably his best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
what I was
laugh
going to
about
say.
it.
Yeah.
Or meet him at the bar and laugh about how they. Yeah.
Well, they're all sovereign citizens, so that means they don't have to follow any of the rules.
Well, I was looking at it, and one of the guys is
Hey,
just like,
try that in a small town, Ted.
yeah, it's
yeah.
like there should be a
We'll get
law
to that, we'll
against
get to
that.
that, yeah.
And the guy's like, there is a law. There is a law.
Yeah.
But this is a thing that people do.
I
with
didn't. I never
diesel
heard of
trucks.
that. Rolling coal. Yeah.
I never heard of it before in my entire life.
So funny thing, just real quick on the flip side, I know they're talking about global warming because I guess in the West, I guess it's 25 consecutive days, like in Phoenix, where it's been over 110 degrees. I guess some parts
Isn't
of
that just called summer?
some parts of the ocean are like 101 degrees Fahrenheit. And obviously the debate is it global warming? Is it carbon emissions? Is it something else? On the flip
It's
side,
not called global warming anymore.
on the flip side, so John Kerry, who ran for his failed bid for president
If
back in
you
the
say
2000s,
what I think you're going to say, this is what people are going to hear. They're going to hear
mute.
me drop my headphones, and you and I actually fighting. If you say that he flew around in his fucking plane telling people about global warming, I swear to God, I'll kick your ass. I'm not fucking with you.
it wasn't his plane because he's never owned a plane, according to when he testified in
I'm
front of
going
Congress.
to kick your ass.
He actually never owned. He's never owned a private plane, but he
Don't do it.
But he flew on a lot of them. That's all.
Don't you fucking do it.
600,000 metric tons of
was
carbon emissions
Oh, is that the
to
whole-
lecture you.
Mark?
You were set. This was all set up for you
Yes.
to talk about that. The
Yes.
irony of
I'm like, couldn't he,
Listen, this is your fault. You gave him
Hypocritical.
alcohol.
couldn't he just go on a Zoom call?
You
Does he
gave
have to
him
physically fly?
alcohol.
He couldn't just like get on a WhatsApp or Zoom call to have this.
for those that
meeting
are
with
just
these
joining us.
other important people.
For those
That
who
would be
missed
the 7th time that Ted referenced a celebrity flying in a jet plane that supports environmental, conservation.
If you missed the previous 79 shows.
Greta Thunberg, that was that girl back from I guess she heckled Trump back in the day. I guess her parents sailed across the ocean.
Give him a math problem?
They sailed across the ocean on a yacht.
Episode
their
15,
yacht, so she can tell us all about how her future was stolen. But we found her future was in the hull of the yacht the whole time. So it's all good.
Oh my God. It's so fucking painful. It really is so painful.
You're stealing our future.
Oh my God!
You just stole my Tuesday night.
Ted. Oh man! Listen to me. It's gonna at some point we're gonna have to fight. Ted and I are gonna have to fight, right? We're gonna have to.
Well,
Yeah. It might be.
Can you think of an excuse
to fight Ted?
Yeah, or a reason to fight Ted?
If he mentions John Kerry and his plane,
jet.
yeah.
Well, wasn't the movie
Or Leonardo DiCaprio?
like the movie Fight
Oh, my
Club?
God.
The Fight Club, I think, part of their initiation, they had to like start a
you
fight.
just said this last week.
Did we? But no, they had to fight. They had to
A stranger.
pick a fight with a stranger. Like actually go up there, just punch.
Okay, here, I'm going to throw this out. Everybody, I will tell you where Ted is going to be at least 2 or 3 times a week, and if you can start a fight with Ted, you're in Fight Club.
Actually, the funny thing, so the bar that
Ted Club.
the bar we went to. So I remember this. This is how easy it is. This is how easy people get bent out
Don't
of shape.
talk about Ted Club.
So it's funny. So Mark, this is how easily people get bent out of shape. So I think we're at the bar. I think it's like a couple of years ago. So I think these 2 guys are wearing Cubs shirts. There's a game on, and there's a Sox and Cubs game, and Matt, kind of like in a good, these like older guys. He's like messing with them, saying, "Oh, the Sox are doing better here statistically." And then I guess he just, he just did it in a very animated way. But then they got like bent out of shape, and I think that one guy threatened to like call the police. I'm gonna call the police or something.
Yeah,
You were taunting them?
yeah. I mean, yeah.
It was just funny.
That's kind of a club too, then, like Fight Club, where you start a fight with a random stranger. Instead, you aggravate a random stranger to the point where they want to call the police. To the point where they want to
Fight
be a citizen and call the police.
It was
on
sport. It was like sports
rather
talk.
than take the law in their own hands.
It was sports talk
gonna
on
call it
steroids,
popo.
and obviously you pushed them too far.
Hey, buddy. Well, if you knock the Cubs one more time, I'm calling the popo.
Well, I will tell you this. There's I think it's Ohio. One of the senators in Ohio, he had a little spat with his wife, and they were arguing.
I
right?
think it's illegal to spat at somebody.
No, and so she like puts her hand in his face and just says like, I don't want to hear this anymore. So he grabs her arm and he wrenches her and he fucking smacks her right in the face, and then he takes off, right? And then
he's a state senator.
She takes off, and then he chases after her and all this. Yeah, he's a senator.
Yeah.
And all this stuff happens, and I guess he got arrested and everything. And he said his defense was okay. He goes, while what I did was out of character, and not the greatest thing to do, it wasn't actually criminal. And I was just like, so I was thinking, you actually physically hit your wife, like you smacked. It's all on video.
Yeah,
he smacked the shit out of her, like one time, open-handed, but he smacked the shit out of her.
Didn't White do that?
And it was actually, I believe, hitting someone is actually
it's
illegal.
assault. It's called assault.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Well, it is criminal. Yeah, but he said it's not criminal.
Well, if it's self-defense, it's not.
You know what? No, because
Did she grab him and attack him, and then he?
No,
you know what? She grabbed him.
no, she just put her hand in his face. And
You know what? His
okay.
feelings.
he grabbed her arm.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he just
okay.
His feelings were hurt.
Shit out
His
of
feelings were hurt. Maybe that's what he meant.
But they want him to. They actually want him to resign, and he said no because what he said, because he says what he did wasn't criminal. So I don't know. I don't know how Republicans work. Is hitting not criminal anymore? I mean, can I just, if I'm just really don't like somebody, can I have Fight Club and be like,
Well, I didn't
that
mean
wasn't
it.
Fight Club.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah, that's kind of what. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
my
It was like an hour ago.
yeah.
Well,
No,
if I really meant it, you know what? I would have made it fit.
Well, you didn't hear what she said.
So a Detroit police commissioner. This guy's like he's like in his 60s. He's driving to work on a whatever weekday. He's like it's 7 a.m. He picks up a prostitute at 7 a.m.
Tuesday.
Pays her $20 to do, or $10 to do whatever.
Whoa!
Gets caught.
We are going to Detroit, baby.
No, that's the morning shift, dude. You don't want to. You don't want to
want
deal
the
with
morning
shift.
prostitutes?
Gets caught in the act by the cops. That obviously this is a woman's unknown prostitute. So I mean they see the whole thing like he's circling around her. Finally stops. She gets in the truck. She's doing whatever to him.
So he's
servicing his
on
needs.
his
Wait a
way
minute,
to
maybe-
work.
It's on his way to work. He's a Detroit police commissioner.
Maybe
He's
it
got
was
a high
a
ranking.
citizen's arrest, and it turned into a bribe.
So the police. So the
She was
police
bribing him.
No, so the
So
police.
you couldn't even wait till after work?
The police rolled up on him, caught him red-handed, and he says, "This is what he says." Of course, he says, "He didn't basically say you do
Turn
know."
the camera off.
He goes, he didn't say, "Do you know who I am?" Speech, but he goes, "Oh, I'm a Detroit police commissioner." He goes, "Can you help me out on this one?"
That's who Ted. That's a different way of saying, do you know who I am?
Yeah, exactly.
That's-
yeah.
Who would not drop that card?
Yeah.
Would
Well,
you
I-
not
what
play
choice
that
do you
card?
have?
I would try.
And you got to throw it out there, right?
Yeah, because you're kind of screwed,
He,
right?
he
'Cause once
resigned.
they
He,
find
resi-
out,
he resigned. He
Yeah,
resigned.
I mean, it's either they say
what
yes.
he did was actually criminal.
They're like, yeah, I got you, or they're like,
was just so
no,
naughty.
and he resigned.
He was just so naughty. That's all.
Actually, you know what? I mean,
Why is prostitution illegal?
where? Because not in Vegas.
Well, it is illegal in Vegas. It's
Clark
only
County,
legal in one
Clark
county.
County, Nevada is the only
Yeah,
place
there's
where they have
only-
a legal brothel in the United States.
No,
Right.
but wouldn't you? If I pulled that guy over, if I was a uniformed cop and I pulled a commissioner over,
One of the commissioner. He's not the commissioner.
Okay,
He's like
so-
he's on the police oversight committee.
okay, for sure.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
for sure, I mean, my first thing would be like, you know what? This doesn't necessarily have to go anywhere. You know what I would like to be? I would like to be a detective.
Yeah.
Can you make that happen?
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm just going to hold on to this video
Yeah.
to see if you can make this happen.
Wait, it was on video?
Well,
I'm
when
sure
you pull
body
somebody
cam-
over,
It's
I
not
think
prostitution then. It's pornography. They were filming. They were making a movie.
body cam footage. Yeah.
It's not illegal to film porn. What's the difference between prostitution and pornography?
they're spelled completely different.
Subjective verbs and pronouns, and
Well, they both. Everyone gets paid for sex at the end, but one's filmed and one isn't, right?
I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
is that not ironic?
That, you know what? I never thought of it. I mean, I'm pro prostitution and pornography, so you're talking to the wrong guy.
Well, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Ted.
Oh,
You just happen to be in the room.
just happen to be looking at him while you're talking.
all
so
know
it's
how
kind
you
of
feel.
confusing.
Okay, so I'm taking off my headphones, and Mark and I are fighting. This is gonna be fight show. That's what we're gonna call this one.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a violent
Matt
man.
gets his ass kicked by two people.
my defense, if I was that guy's defense attorney, I would say
I gotta pee.
I would
Ted
say
runs away.
I would say, Your Honor, it is true that actually this is scientifically true. Men's testosterone levels are elevated in the morning. So so he needed a little servicing. So it happened.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And they're always taught police officers, don't take matters into your own hands.
He took something to
so
his
take
hand.
it into let it have it in her hands.
Exactly.
In her hands. Okay, we got to get this thing started. Oh my God! Hey everybody, my name is Matt, and this is the Real Three Idiots podcast. With me, as always, is the well-traveled warrior, Mark.
Are we rolling coal now? We ready to roll coal?
I thought I was going to say roll tide.
Is that what we're doing?
So when I heard that, I actually thought it was people who would go on people's porches and take a shit. That's what I swear to God, that's what I thought it was. I'm
That's
like,
trolling coal.
yeah,
It's different.
I'm like rolling coal.
No, that's dropping coal. That's dropping coal.
It absolutely seemed like that. And then I'm watching the video. So when I watch that video, I'm like, I'm gonna watch a video. So I almost turned it off because I'm like, I'm not gonna watch somebody
is this
take
on
a
YouTube?
shit.
Is this on YouTube?
Yeah,
or? Okay.
yeah. People. So you know that everybody who drives now has their phone
the dash
on
cam
the
phone,
dash,
yeah.
and they record everything.
Yeah, yeah.
They record everything. So
Well,
anything you do,
Yeah, they
is
got your
being
plates.
recorded.
Every one of those dash cams has people's license plates that are in front of them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why a lot of people, it's very popular. I've not seen a lot. I've seen one, but you can't tell. But there's these covers you can put over your plates that somehow don't show up on cameras.
Yeah, they use that.
It's like a reflective.
You could see it with your eyes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show up. It's blurred
Oh,
in cameras or
interesting.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know how it does it.
People use that when they go through
tolls and stuff.
Oh,
so
okay,
they
yeah.
don't get caught.
I'm sure there's got to be some workaround, like these what they
Well,
call
I think they're illegal.
Scofflaws.
It's
Yeah.
very illegal. It's like having a silencer.
You mean like
or-
slapping somebody? Because that's not really. I mean, there's a lot of things
You
that
got to
seem
define
illegal.
slap,
Yeah.
though, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that seem illegal, but you know what? It just really depends on
you
if
really-
you do it or if somebody else
When
does
you really break it down in the frame by frame, then you see it's really
It's actually illegal to do what you were saying earlier, Matt. You've actually battered Matt.
it.
Ted
Oh,
and I.
threatening Ted?
Yeah.
Well, I think a threat is assault is a threat, and actually battery is when you actually physically hit somebody.
Wait.
No.
If I say I'm going to kick your fucking ass, it is not
That's
assault.
That's assault.
No, it's not.
Yes, I'll look at it. I'll I was in
Wait,
law
I
school
always get
So
briefly.
wait,
confused.
so if
No,
I say I'm
yeah.
going to lick your ass, is that sexual assault?
No, you're right. So it's assault and battery. Yeah. So it's battery if you just attack someone.
Yeah, battery is physically hitting them.
Assault and
assaulting.
battery is even worse because you say I'm gonna do this to you,
Yeah.
and then you do it.
Yeah. Well, there was a
So,
case.
yeah,
There was a
you're
case.
right.
There was a case one time where this guy
You
got
assaulted you assaulted
dated a
both
girl
Ted
that-
and I multiple
Yeah,
times.
exactly.
I dated a girl in college that made me say. Yeah, so I
Well,
understand
that's called role play. It's cosplay. So here's the thing.
Oh,
There,
we're
were-
telling
there,
college
there, there,
stories?
there actually
No,
was
we're
there
not.
actually was a
No, we're
case
not.
where a guy he was charged with assault. So basically he never got physically near the guy, but he threatened to do
Oh,
this
yeah,
guy
you
harm.
go- yeah.
So what happened
get
was
arrested for that.
but his defense was that he wasn't in a position to even get to the guy. I guess he was like somewhere like he couldn't like physically get to him even if he wanted to. So he's like, yeah, so he said, I'm going to kill you. But like he was like in a tree house or somewhere where he couldn't like physically even get to the guy.
In a tree house?
Yeah, I'm just using that as an example. Yeah.
He's a 9-year-old bully.
Some outpost or something,
These are kids.
Yeah.
Screw you. You know what? I'm going to see you walk into school. Yeah.
Ma, get the ladder. I'm going to kick his ass.
Once I get down from here.
He was in a treehouse. Mister, could you just get out of my treehouse?
It might have been a duck blind. Might have been a duck blind.
a
I don't know.
duck
Duck blind. That's the same thing,
Oh, so he threatened a duck. That's
no,
fine.
wasn't a duck blind? Isn't that like a treehouse for adults? A duck blind, right?
Well, they're not in the sky. They're in the ground.
A duck blind?
Duck blinds are in the.
No,
No,
aren't they up?
They're mounted.
No.
What?
Duck blinds are down.
You're thinking of a foxhole, dude.
You're shooting ducks that are in a pond.
No, you have an elevated position. A duck blind is like.
I have no idea how to hunt.
That's a deer stand.
Oh,
A
deer
duck-
stand, okay.
A duck blind is level to like
Oh, I see.
the pond, like so you can shoot them when they land. You're not shooting from.
But you're enclosed. It looks like a little treehouse, right?
It
You're
could
like
be.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's like just like a 3-sided like.
Yeah.
So
blind
we
where-
need to get a hunting expert out here on the show and talk about hunting. Okay. Oh, we got to keep introducing. And because everybody loves him for some crazy reason, Teddy.
It was a good day on the golf course. Hopefully, I dropped a couple of pounds because it was about 90 degrees out there, man. It was.
Dude, I
it was-
can't
it
believe
was
you guys
more
golfed
than-
today. I was in a sweatshop today. What did you shoot, Ted?
106. Straight up.
80.
Oh, missed the
dude.
putt. Missed the putt at the last.
Missed the-
Matt,
missed the
Matt
putt
shot
for
a 78
I know.
the other day.
I heard you broke 100 the other day too.
I
so
did. I
that's good.
actually shot a 99, not
No.
a 98.
Oh, that's good. That's good
Yeah.
though.
I shot a 90 in Minnesota.
Nice. So you went
Yeah.
golfing in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some nice courses there. Unfortunately, I didn't.
Actually, it was in Wisconsin, just over the border.
Okay.
In,
Eau Claire or something? Or
no, it's way closer. It's just outside of Hudson, which is right over to St. Croix.
okay. Gotcha.
It's literally 14 minutes from Woodbury.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Beautiful
All
courses.
right. And for everyone who doesn't live there, I don't give a shit either. So, yeah, I understand.
Minnesota borders Wisconsin.
Yeah. No one cares. Yeah. All our fans in India and Australia and Brazil. Oh, by the way, huge. Last month, thousands of people in Brazil are listening to our show.
Thank you, Brazil.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Isn't
I have
San
no
Paulo
idea.
San Paulo the
Ay,
capital?
caramba.
No, that's San Paulo is the capital of Brazil, I believe.
Yeah, I have no idea,
Wait,
but now
what
I
is?
want to go.
Thank you, Brazil. San Paulo.
Ich liebe uns Brazil.
That's German. Dude.
I get it. No, Boys of Brazil.
Oh,
He's
the
saying
Boys of
that's
Brazil.
where the Nazis
Oh,
went. Yes,
gotcha.
very nice.
No,
very
I said I
nice.
love Brazil.
Yes.
Oh,
That's the second.
LA.
Wait,
no, that's
no.
like the second language in Brazil.
No, the Nazis
German.
went to Argentina.
Deutsch.
The Nazis went to Argentina. I thought.
Oh, I
Well,
thought they went to
Brazil's
Brazil.
got a huge German population.
Okay,
Enormous.
but the Nazis after World War II, they all disappeared in Argentina.
Lots of Germans went to Brazil. Yes, and they're excellent marksmen. Yeah,
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, we need to get to Teddy's tip.
Let's do it.
We're
All right.
sponsored, aren't we?
Yes, but are you ready, Teddy?
I'm running the show here.
Teddy, are you ready?
Yes.
Ted, are you ready for Ted's tips?
Do you have a song?
No, we got a sponsor. Okay, Matt.
Okay.
Get it.
All right, thank you. You know what? You know what I should do? I
should
I
give
did
us all
this.
jobs
I
on
did
the
this.
show?
No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you guys run
I
it.
did a good intro that one time.
You did. I'm going to.
One time. I was never asked again, Ted. I thought I did
Okay.
good, but then that was 45 shows ago.
Yes.
No, you're doing it next week.
I'll do it every 40 shows. I think that was show 40.
No, you'll do
We're
it
on
next week.
80 right
You're
now.
you're like a locust. You just come out once every.
That was the
7
show
years,
that
yeah.
Brian Buckman from
yeah.
Illuminated Brew Works was on.
Yep.
And then I kind of hesitated when I was introducing the guest, and you were like,
That's
Brian,
it.
Brian, Brian,
You panicked.
you jumped in. I was
panicked.
like,
You
motherfucker.
froze.
Whoa,
Forgot your
that's
lines.
a threat. Oh man, this is the threat show. I can see it now. You know what? I can see what I did, and you know what? I want to apologize, but I'm not gonna.
I froze over my.
Right, you
one of
ready for my
jobs.
song?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go with our brand new sponsor, big time, by the way, big time sponsor. With the overwhelming success of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Walt Disney Studios is proud to announce 3 new Indiana Jones movies with the indomitable Harrison Ford. The 3-part extravaganza will start with Indiana Jones and the Search for the Golden Toilet, followed by Indiana Jones and the Hip of Hysteria, and finally, Indiana Jones versus those young kids with their loud music. Disney is pleased to announce that all of the movies will be filmed in Loudovision, a new breakthrough that records all of the dialogue 20% louder than normal, and everything is repeated twice. If you live in the actual state of Indiana, you get a more authentic Indy. He will be extremely homophobic and spends most of the movie reading the Bible and commenting on women's breasts. And don't forget, coming soon, The Little Mermaid's Grandma. Tales from the Wrong Side of the Walker. Enjoy.
I just saw that preview. I saw Oppenheimer, and before it came on, they showed that they had that preview
For Indiana Jones?
and I was done. I couldn't hear the movie. I had to walk out. It was so fucking loud. The preview was loud.
20%
I
louder.
heard that Barbie movie is making a lot of waves. I've never seen it. That's the new one that came out.
Mark went to see Oppenheimer, and
it
he
was
said
the
people
same
were
day,
dressed.
yeah.
People were dressed as Barbie,
So half the theater was there for Barbie and half was for Oppenheimer.
adult men.
And there was more people. Everyone was wearing pink and costumes.
Wow.
It was cool. I mean, it was good to see people, having fun.
It's kind of like the Rocky. It's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think to this day they still show like midnight screenings where people dress
Yeah.
up in the goth outfits and
Well, not the goth. They dress up in the character.
let's do the time.
Yeah, like Tim
warp
Curry's
again.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand how Barbie was big. I just don't. Okay, Marquise, go ahead and hit that song,
Yeah.
baby. Okay.
Well, I love a tip from Ted. I love a tip from Ted. I love to hear the blunder, watch the lion when it lights up Matt's eyes. It makes me feel good. Well, I love a tip from Ted. It's such a crazy ass sight. The Ted to feel the pain on his face, taste the crown on his lips, in the moonlight shadows. Showers wash up his dirty sweats. He makes up tons of funny tips, 'cause I love a tip from Ted. Yeah, I love a tip from Ted. That's no lie. Well, I love a tip from Ted. Is Ted high? Well, I love a tip from Ted. Ted don't lie.
Oh
Good
man,
one.
I messed up the second verse, man.
that's all right. Eddie Rabbit.
That's right. It's Eddie Rabbit. Yeah,
Yeah,
great artist.
No, he wasn't. That was his only.
Oh, I'm
song.
thinking of Eddie Money. Sorry.
Oh, Eddie Money. I saw him in an Unplugged thing. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, Ted, are you now ready for your tip?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Let's proceed.
Ted, I need your help. I'm terrible at small talk at work, with friends, on dates. You guys seem to talk to each other about different stuff all the time. How can I get better at talking about all the random things that pop up every day? This is the part that really gets me. Ted, please help me be more like you. Roger, 26, from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Wow. I wish I was like Roger. I wish I was 26.
Run, Roger, run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Roger. I appreciate you putting your faith in me for this next few moments. So, I actually did think about this extensively, and here's what I think you should do. So, okay, so small talk. Well, let's define what small talk is. Small talk, it's like, you want to say something interesting, but you want it to be lighthearted. You don't want to get too serious. So you want to stay away from topics like, politics, abortion, sports is safe, maybe talk about work in general, but nothing too.
My
where it
aunt,
becomes
my
boring.
aunt
Yeah.
had a pretty wicked abortion the other day.
I love the way you compare like people talking politics, like people talk like abortion.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, because sometimes people get really heated over, especially these days, the political climate's a little bit hot. But you talk about everyday, current events. Like, for example, Tom Brady is going out with. We thought he was going out with that
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian, but he's actually going out with that Irina Skankkovich or something, whatever her name is. I don't know. She's like Bradley Cooper's ex-girlfriend. She's one of those like skinny Eastern European women. They all kind of look the same to me.
So wait, Tom Brady has Bradley Cooper leftovers?
Well, it was actually Leonardo DiCaprio's first, but
Yeah. Well, she turned.
And then she turned
She turned
24?
25. She turned 24 and a half,
yes,
and she had to go. So,
Ooh, getting a little old. Oh man, is that a wrinkle?
yeah. So anyway, here's the actual tip, Mr. Roger. So not Mr. Rogers. So,
Roger.
yeah. Anyway, so if you're not good at small talk, and that's okay. So here's what you're going to do. You just have to do a little planning in advance until you do get good at it. And like anything, you practice doesn't make perfect. So what I would recommend, it's going to sound a little silly, but hear me out. So maybe you're going to have a prearranged talking points for multiple scenarios and use Post-it notes. No, seriously, write down like you don't have to write down like little bullet points on Post-it notes that just kind of jog your memory. You don't have to write like a whole Declaration of Independence.
Hold on.
there.
Would it look like this?
Yeah, it's a Post-it.
You know what?
It's a Post-it note.
I think I think she did the right thing too. And hold on. Wait a minute. Oh man, yeah. You know what? She's very attractive.
And,
You're
and-
right.
no, you know what you do? You keep it. You just have about 3 or 4 talking points on the post-it note. It's very discreet. You keep it kind of like you have the top of the post-it note's like sticky, so you could actually put it like on your driver's license or credit card, fold it in half so no one's going to see it. And then what you do is when you're in a scenario, just excuse yourself for a minute. Just like you're going to the bathroom, which you probably have to do anyway. Take the post-it note out, look at the talking points, go back to your group.
Everybody
and
poops.
Go back to your group and then just kind of strike up the conversation using your talking points as your guide, and then just rinse and repeat that until you get a little better at it. Until then one day you won't need the post-it notes, and there you go. Now you're a small talk expert.
That is absolutely. Wouldn't it get weird if every time he's in a situation, kind of like this, with a bunch of guys, he's like, give me a second, guys. I gotta go take a shit.
I mean, not
Is
even
he
that.
putting the post-it notes like up in there and he's like looking at them?
No, he just has like indiscreet.
Is that why he's bringing actually
in
post-it
his pocket?
notes?
Yeah, or before you meet the group, like you're driving to where you're going to like a sports bar or pub. Just take it out.
You know that a post-it note is like you stick it on something.
Yeah, you
So he could just bring a piece of paper. He doesn't. It has to be a post-it note.
No, I'm using that.
Unless we're being sponsored by 3M.
Exactly, but I'm just saying that post notes is
Do you
easy
ever
'cause-
wonder why those post-it notes are sticky?
And you know what? I don't think we are, but if you're ever going to get a post-it note, 3M makes the best post-it notes available. 3M post-it notes. They'll save your life one day.
Ted says post-it.
The bonus tip: don't let your group find the post-it note.
What about? Wouldn't it?
It's funny.
What
You're
if he?
right.
Don't leave
They'll know you're like.
don't leave
yeah,
the post-it. What, Roger? I see that
me
these
this
post-it
guy's-
notes match exactly what you were talking about tonight.
This guy prepares for our dates.
Wait, couldn't he just put it on his phone?
Sure, but that would be obvious. I'm just saying,
Yeah, you don't wanna
post-it
look-
note,
no,
phone.
Ted's right, yeah.
Okay,
I-
what if he wrote in marker on his arm?
invisible marker?
Here, hold on. What if he did a Cyrano thing where he had a little earpiece?
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah,
Right?
But someone has to. Then he needs a partner to
How
like
many
feed him
movies- how
information.
there's like a ton of movies.
Okay,
like
so
that,
so
man.
wait a
Feed
minute.
him
Wait a minute.
information.
What if we were small talk people? Okay, so let's just say that we're in our house, right, and we're in charge of like 20 people. Okay, and then somebody, he goes, hey, Roger, what do you think about this heat? And then, Roger, 26 days. Phoenix has been over 110 temperatures. So go with that.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Tell me you like to fuck cats.
Mention global warming, but not that you're into global warming. Just mention it as a possible cause, but it could be a
Yeah.
lot of different things.
Yeah.
Greenhouse gases, we don't know. So.
Yeah, don't be very generic.
This is just like that show where
Very
they do that. They
non-committal.
set their friends
Yeah.
up and they put the earplugs in it.
Yeah, I think.
Wait a minute.
No, remember we saw that some guy went on a
That's
date
all
with
they
a girl.
do.
Yeah, there was like a movie where the guy went on a date and like the smart guy.
Every movie
Oh,
does.
Roxanne did
He
that.
was in,
In
yeah,
that
so-
movie
so the guy-
Roxanne
he-
with
he-
Steve.
he's
Steve
got-
Martin.
Steve
Your
He's
guy,
got the
Steve
earpiece.
Martin.
He's got the
Steve
earpiece in. So like
Yeah.
you go on the date, you know what to say. So the guy's like, "Tell her she's got beautiful eyes."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then he goes. Oh, it's your ass. You have
You
the
have beautiful
best
thighs.
ass.
What's the name of that show that my kids love?
Roxanne.
No. The show with the 4 friends that are comedians and they.
Oh,
Impractical
Impractical
Yeah, in
Jokers.
fact,
Yeah.
that's all they do, right?
Yeah.
They set somebody up and then they fuck with them, just like you.
Yeah, but
suggested.
then we want to help them.
No, I
we wanna
know,
fuck with them,
it's the
yeah, yeah.
opposite, but it's the same concept.
But wouldn't it
But
be
yeah.
great? I mean, you could actually. What if you actually helped just to loosen up a little
Yeah,
bit?
loosen up
right?
without like alcohol. I mean, just like because some people.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. I agree with Ted 100%. Because if this guy has a problem, like say you could rehearse it all day long, right? But then when you get in the moment, you forget.
Yeah.
You kind of freeze up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do that every show. I forget what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah,
I just
no, it's
ramble
pretty
on.
obvious.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
my God.
So him excusing himself to go to the bathroom to check his notes. It doesn't have to be post-it notes. He doesn't have to splurge the money for the sticky notes.
Except that 3M does make the best sticky notes available.
So
Thank you, 3M.
that's a good idea.
Stickiest
but
sticky notes
I will
around.
say this: what your idea, Matt? You could probably start a business doing it. But I'll start the business where I have to consult them because they're breaking up because it's all predicated on bullshit.
What?
'Cause what if that person finds out that everything you're doing is like basically rehearsed or staged or
it's
No,
not, it's
no.
not rehearsed. It's just a memory trigger.
It's-
like
it's-
you're
no,
gonna
not
do it-
you. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not your
Yeah.
plan, Ted.
Oh,
Matt's
oh,
plan,
Matt's plan.
where somebody else is telling them what to say. That's a bad thing.
No, here's what you
What,
do.
how would anybody know that I'm
No,
telling
if they
them
ever
what to
found
say?
out, well, I mean, how could you live? Say you go on to marry that person,
But after
and
the
their first 3
practice-
dates were all you telling that guy in his ear what to say and do.
But wouldn't
for
he
3
get
dates,
better?
and finally, well, eventually he got better, but maybe he didn't get better. Maybe she just fell for him, and they didn't need you anymore, and now they got
Excellent.
married, and then he's
Excellent.
got to tell her.
No,
you
he
know, in our
doesn't.
first-
So he's
Why-
just
no,
gonna
he's
hide in
gonna
the,
leave-
he's
he's
gonna
gonna-
hide in the broom closet for
gonna
the next
live
30
it-
years.
No,
Tell her that.
I'll tell you.
He's going to live with that secret the rest of his life.
I'm gonna take out the garbage
What
later.
secret?
Oh, and then
somebody
one
help
day,
me
and then
to meet-
one day she's going to say, "Hey, did you hear about this douchebag Matt who's got this business where he puts earplugs in guys and he helps them on dates?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah,
Never.
I never heard of that."
Yeah, that's stupid. And by the way, after he got her and he didn't tell her the truth, I would just blackmail him.
Yeah, that's
forever.
part of
so
the
I could
contract that you
yeah,
probably make him sign.
Yeah,
Honey,
I
I
would
just-
make double the money.
Three-way.
Honey-
He's got to have 3 ways with him, Ted.
Honey, I just found this penis reduction pamphlet in your room. Are you going for a consultation? I'm like, yes, dear. Again, yeah.
What?
Are you having
What
it
are
done
you-
again, Ted?
It's just for girth, not for length. Okay, you know what I mean?
What
Oh,
are you
well, that's
talking-
okay.
You gave him alcohol, and now we all have to suffer. I hope you're happy.
Guys, did you know that Joe Rogan has a podcast?
Really?
So there's a
does
guy-
he talk about Ted's penis?
There's a guy. There's a guy that I know that I just learned about this today. Who I love this guy. He's kind of a colleague. He's a huge Joe Rogan fan. He listens to his show
Overrated.
on repeat over and over again.
I've listened
Did
to
you
Joe
tell him
Rogan a
about
couple
your
times,
show?
yeah.
Did you tell him about the show you're on?
Yeah.
So
The
listen,
most important one.
so Joe Rogan, I guess, is a big guy with these. When instead of having surgery, you get the what the hell do you get?
For your penis?
No, for your like arms or shoulders and stuff.
Implants?
No,
Lengthening, the leg
never mind,
lengthening
forget
thing.
it. You guys are messing
Spit
me
it
up.
out.
Are you trying to make a joke and this is
I'm
getting
not making a
shitty?
joke. So he fucked up his elbow. So instead of going to have surgery, like the doctor's like, yeah, you got like tore 70% of the tendon.
Okay.
It's like, so you gotta have it. He's going to have like this.
Plasma transplants or blood fusion transplants? Or?
That doesn't make sense. Okay, here, I'll tell you what. That seems ridiculous.
He's following Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said he's had it done on his shoulder like multiple times. He's had it done here, and he's like, it works. He's plugging these companies, right?
Of course, you know what? Sometimes, Mark, when you plug companies, and by the way,
Stem cells.
3M
Stem
is one of the
cells,
greatest
stem
things of all
cells.
time.
So stem cell. He's having like stem cells.
Yeah. And and that's
to
great.
grow it back?
Yeah. And you could do that if you have multi-millions of dollars, but for the average
No,
person.
it's costing $8,000.
Okay, that's still
But
expensive.
insurance doesn't cover it.
Insurance doesn't cover it.
And you're down as much time as the surgery.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
And take it a step further. He's already had this done twice on his shoulder because of Joe Rogan, and it didn't work, and he ended up having surgery anyway.
Yeah, so don't listen to Joe Rogan on podcasts for like real world advice.
So if you're listening to Joe Rogan and he says he does this and it doesn't work, why would you do
So
it?
the place that
So if
Joe,
I told someone to shave their balls and run into traffic with covered in feathers, would you do it?
no, you're not
No,
Joe Rogan.
Well, Ted, I did it once and I'll never do it again. That was ridiculous. You know what? I knew right away when you had to shave my balls and not me that this was a trick.
that just
Hey, you
gave
know
me an
what?
idea.
Go into a go into the bank with a pantyhose
no, not
mask
that.
on.
You're thinking wrong, Ted. We could start a new show called the Ted Rogan Show. There's Joe Rogan and there's Ted Rogan.
So it's like J.P. Marlin versus J.P. Morgan. It's like Joe Rogan. It's like A-I-N-E.
Is that like, hey, look, it's the Goodrich blimp.
Jose?
Wait a minute.
Jose
Goodrich
Rogaine.
ain't got no blimp.
The Jose Rogaine podcast.
Oh my God.
No.
Okay, can we get to something serious, please?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. What
Chess
the hell?
Talk with Ted and Mark.
Yeah. Oh, are we doing chess talk? No, thank God. Okay. You guys are both experts in the Catholic Church, correct?
Yes. I know a little bit about the Catholic Church.
Yes.
Okay.
Talk
Okay.
about the Vatican or the Catholic
So
Church?
you have heard about that Archbishop Victor Manuel Fernandez is going to be named the new guardian of doctrinal orthodoxy.
Yep.
I actually didn't know that, but
You did not know that.
I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that was a position within
I'm
the
Okay.
Catholic
I'm
Church.
watching the in Doctrine.
Okay, so it is. And there's two reasons why this is really cool. Number one, I looked everywhere and could not find what the actual guardian of doctrinal orthodoxy does.
Like the Guardian of the Galaxy?
I guarantee you, when he was looking it up, that came up every time.
yes.
That Guardian of the Galaxy came up. As soon as you put Guardian in, Galaxy's the next
listen,
word.
I looked it up over and over and over again.
Hang on, man. I got to get Ted a beer.
Oh,
You're not
you
supposed to say that out
son
loud.
of a bitch. I could not figure out. There's a Coors Light way in the back. That's all he's good for is a Coors Light. I looked everywhere for 2 weeks and could not find what the actual job does. But here's the really cool part, okay? This guy wrote a book way back in the day. Any idea what it might have been about?
Wait, is he a priest?
So yes.
Okay.
He is a priest. Okay.
What's
He
his
is
name
actually an archbishop. Victor Manuel Fernandez.
How
Okay.
what
does he go by?
How to scrub your hard drive after looking after
look at kitty porn. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
he's a
yeah.
bishop right now.
Archbishop.
He's an archbishop.
And he's going to be, and this is the greatest, guardian of doctrinal orthodoxy.
So
which
we're
has
looking
no,
for his book title, right?
What is the book title? No, just tell me what he wrote
I
about.
thought you were going to say guardian of nocturnal emissions, That's what I thought you were gonna say, which is known as a wet dream, Mark.
Yes. But what do you
that
think
really?
he wrote about? What do you?
So
what
we're,
do you
we're
think
gonna go
this guy
genre
wrote
like
about?
nonfiction or fiction. Can you give us some hints?
Anything?
Is it fiction?
It is a non-fiction.
How to counsel troubled young boys between the ages of 7 and 9.
Why do you give him alcohol? This is going to be. We're gonna have to edit for the first time ever. Are you?
Is it going there?
It's. I mean, you're never gonna guess.
It's a Coors Light.
You're never gonna guess. I'll give you the title of the book. Are you?
Oh, we wouldn't be able to.
You wouldn't be able to guess what he wrote about it. Archbishop.
Even if he gave us a title, we wouldn't be able to know.
Oh
what
no,
it's
you'll
about.
know as soon as you hear the title.
Okay,
But you
I'll
couldn't-
guess what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a gardening book.
Why? Now, why would that be a big deal that an archbishop wrote a gardening?
Well, they all have hobbies.
He has a different hobby. Are you ready? Here's his book. It's called. It's so hard to do this. And this is, I swear to you, listen, everyone who's listening to this, get online and verify that I am telling 100% the truth.
Oh, because the internet's always true.
No.
Is it funky?
What's the matter, Teddy?
What do you
Is the smell bad?
I think I got some
Born
skunk-
on date's still good.
I think I got some skunky beer.
December 2023. It's because you were just drinking a really good beer that I gave you.
Ted, if you don't want the beer, don't drink it. There's other beers in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
my
what's the title of the book?
You
Can
ready?
we pause the show.
Yes. Here's the edit.
We've
Hold on.
lost
Hold on, ready?
everybody
Here we
right
go.
now.
Heal me with your mouth. the art of kissing. Heal me with your mouth.
Yeah.
This is the Archbishop, by the way, who, if all things are true,
That's not-
has
that's not
never
appropriate at
he has never kissed anybody, right? Because these guys take a vow of celibacy, right?
Yeah, but they could kiss.
Who?
Like their mom, their sister.
Is he writing a book about kissing his mother?
Oh, you're talking
The-
about making out.
Heal me with. Okay.
Heal me with your mouth.
So if anything in this book
This
has
is
to
not
do with
about making out.
Mark, if any of this has to do with kissing his mom or his sister, the title is Heal Me With Your Mouth, The Art of Kissing.
Yes.
If he's healing his mother or his sister, we have a lot bigger. The Catholic Church has some very serious
So
issues
what is
right
the
now.
book about? Is it like making out kissing, or is it like
yes.
kissing like the art of like saying hello with a kiss, like
No.
Europeans on two
It-
cheeks?
it is
or
about-
like some friends I have that just
It's
lip to
about-
lip, like
It is about real, actual kissing, and how that by kissing other people, you can make them happy.
kissing in a sexual way.
Yes, absolutely
No
in
way.
a sexual
That's not
way.
what the book's about. There's no way.
Again, all you have to do to prove that I'm wrong
Is read the book.
Everybody, just look it up and
Well,
see
look
what it's
up
about.
give me a brief synopsis. Did you read like the back of the book or something where it gives a brief synopsis of what he means about kissing?
He talks about how kissing. He talks about how
Like kissing in a relationship.
yes, how kissing in a relationship is important, and it's not just. And there's things
As
he
long
writes-
as it's boy girl.
It doesn't say anything in there, but how just
I'm
if
assuming
you were
that
just
because he's
having
Catholic.
just having sex isn't good enough that you have to kiss and make it sensual. This is a man who has allegedly never been with anyone, right? Because they all have to take a
Who do you
vow
think
of
he interviewed
celibacy.
for? Who do you think he interviewed for this book?
Johnny, come in here right now.
John Doe.
Timmy, you're next. Yeah, but I this is really cool because I thought about this. It's a guy who's never kissed anybody who's talking about this, and I'm just thinking, what are some other books that would really work? And I was thinking, what if the Cleveland Browns wrote a book about how to win the Super Bowl, right? Because
That's what it's like, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. What if a blind guy wrote a book about painting houses? Yeah, yeah. What if Marjorie Taylor Greene wrote anything on a piece of paper that made sense? Yeah.
Or what if a blind person went and seen Oppenheimer and then left before the show started?
Go ahead and tell him. Go ahead. You went to Oppenheimer, and what happened?
I want to see that movie.
Yeah, but what
Oh,
happened?
So
Mark, tell.
in the
we all
theater.
sat.
Oh,
we,
okay.
we get in the theater. We
Okay.
sit in the first row behind the aisle. You know, there's like the whole section, and then
Yeah.
the aisle separates it. So
Yeah.
we're sitting up in the.
Yeah.
And a gentleman and his date or wife or whatever walks in, and she's blind.
Okay.
Like blind, like
Okay.
not like
not like fun blind.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is some people. I mean, you could be legally blind, and then you could be blind where you can't see anything. she couldn't see anything. She had dark glasses on. She had the cane. And you could tell she was very
Very
so
blind.
They walk in, they sit down, and the commercials are going. Not the previews, but the commercials. There's 15 minutes of commercials, and there's 15 minutes of previews, and then the movie starts, and they get up and leave.
Okay.
But when she walked in, I said under my breath, Matt's assuming I yelled it out loud. Mm-hmm. And I just blurted it like under my breath. My wife's right next to me. I go, "You got to be kidding me." Because I didn't know that blind people go to movies. I don't know. I mean, I know they can hear the movie, and I believe me, I don't know. Because I know that there are movies for the hearing impaired because they have subtitles and stuff like that. But I don't know how. I mean, it would suck to be.
Well, subtitles probably wouldn't help a blind person, would it?
Well, maybe she's just there.
No.
Maybe she's there on behalf of her date, and she's just doing it to, obviously.
Well, that's what I thought too. I'm
Yeah.
like this. I'm like, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Nothing." I guess it's cool.
Hold on a second. I think I got this.
But then they left it. But then they left before the movie. Right when the movie the movie started, and they walked out
because they wanted to see Barbie instead.
No.
And Matt says to me, "Well, what were you saying to her?" I go, "I didn't say anything to her."
I feel like you said something.
I know
I feel
you
like she
feel like
heard
that.
you.
I'm not. There's no way. I would never do that.
They
to
have
somebody,
blind
ever.
people have superhuman hearing. Just
You're
so
right.
you know.
You know what? Maybe you're right.
Well,
about
they
that.
develop their other senses, like when they, you have one.
Yeah, but then why would she sit there for half an hour? To spite me and then get up and leave?
Yeah, I do. Mark, I sit here for an hour and a half to spite you every week. What are you talking about?
It's starting to work. In about 100 more episodes, Mark will have enough of you.
Dude, how do we get rid of this guy?
Oh man. Okay, so just to finish up on the book that this Archbishop wrote, there's a poem he wrote. Would you guys?
Was it
there's
was it a limerick or was it a poem?
Ted, after he tells us the poem, let's figure out a way different
We kissed.
topic to go off on,
caressed.
like mine.
Okay,
Was it
my
involve
story.
juicy lips?
Ted, it's
Saliva?
a poem. It's a poem that's in the book. Okay.
All right, you got it.
Yes, here it is.
Right.
Are you ready?
Can you say it? Can you do an accent?
Oh, like an Italian accent.
Sure,
Right.
Italian.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay. Here we go. How was God so ruthless to give you that mouth that no one can resist? Which, like WITCH, like you're a witch, hide it. Yes. So he's clearly telling a woman to hide her mouth because he can't resist, because it can't be resisted by
So
someone.
is he like? He's like Pence, right? He can't be in a room with a woman.
It's clearly, at this point, this guy should not be in
Like-
a room with a woman. This guy.
Well, he can't be
I feel
alone. Not alone.
The
alone, no.
level of repression from this guy has to be off the chart, right? I mean,
Yeah, and actually, the foreword was written by Mike Pence, so it was kind of weird. But no, but this guy wrote this a long time ago, and now that he is going to be, and I love this. If anybody can tell me, listen, if anybody's out there can tell me what the guardian of doctrinal orthodoxy does, please,
Matt,
send me that.
Matt, can I tell you something? The name that priest's name, that archbishop, his name is a pseudonym. His
Victor
real,
Manuel
I know
Fernandez.
that's a pseudonym. Am I saying that right? What's a pseudonym?
I don't. Yeah.
pseudonym.
Oh, you mean Mike Pence's
Not a
pen
pseudo
name?
No. Like a pen name. Like
Pen name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephen
His
King.
real name is Father Guido Sarducci. Who, by the way, was one of my favorite human beings of all
Okay,
time.
he's the guardian of nocturnal emissions. Okay, we got it. He wrote a book about how to use your mouth.
And then he wrote an awesome poem.
100 ways to use your mouth. And then
100 ways to use your mouth.
and he's sponsored by Scope. Okay, I got it.
Scope.
I just, dude, I honestly,
Sponsored by AIM.
I honestly could not fathom what was happening here. And I guess the book was printed, and then it kind of went out of print. And now, since he's up for this thing, somebody found this book. Of course, you can't do anything, right? If you did it before, so somebody found it, and he's like, "Hey, man, I wrote it. Yeah." And people are
you
just
wrote
like,
it.
"Why? Like, why did you write this? What was the purpose of this?"
What section at Barnes and Nobles do you think it's in?
I think
Wait,
this is an Amazon.
do they
book.
still have Barnes and Nobles?
They do. There was a Barnes and Noble when I was at the Mall of America. Has Barnes and Noble.
I go to Barnes and Noble all the time. I actually have their. Actually, when I was in there last week,
What?
and the guy said that we have a.
Hey, Mark, welcome back. Thanks for coming. Nobody comes in here anymore.
That store's awesome.
Yeah, there's
Do
a
you
Barnes
want-
and Noble on Carpenter
Yeah,
Road
that's the
in
one I
Toohey.
go to.
Toohey,
You want-
yeah.
you want a
Village
book on-
Crossing.
You want a book on kissing?
So
Is that you? Was that you loitering by the magazine section there, Mark? By the guns and ammo section? I thought that was you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were in Barnes and Noble.
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
And,
Look,
and the
there's
kissing book.
kissing, there's caressing, there's
I said what section do you think that's in?
sucking, licking. I mean, tongue rolling. There's
Hey,
there's
Ted,
motorboarding.
Ted,
I
if
mean,
you went to the
there's a bunch
if you
of
went to the
stuff.
library, when was
You
this book
gave
published?
him alcohol.
When was this book published?
Back in the 90s.
The 90s. Okay, so we still had the Dewey Decimal System back then. So how would you find that in the Dewey Decimal System if you went to the library? Well, you look it up by his name, but he's got 3 names.
I never,
0.69.
I never learned how to use that. I mean, I would just use microfiche.
Dude, we had to learn how
I
to
had to use
use
micro.
that.
Yeah, I use the Dewey.
We had to,
Decimal System.
in order. We had to in grammar school. We had to take library as a class.
Yeah.
I told that
You
story.
guys-
Yeah. I told that story. We had to take library in class, and
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
to steal books
library,
from the library.
library science. Yeah.
Oh, we did talk about this.
Yeah, we had to steal books
Oh
from
my
the library.
god.
All right. Do you guys
80 shows. We're going to repeat ourselves, folks. It's unscripted. Can you do a public service announcement, please, and tell our listeners what this show is like?
Okay, so basically what happens is Ted says the same thing over and over again, and every once in a while, Mark and I repeat something funny. All right, can we stay on religion for just one more thing?
Sure.
Okay, one more thing.
Talk about it. Actually,
Okay. And then
this is a talking point for Roger. Roger, religion can be a talking point in a ancillary
in a fun way.
Yeah, in a fun way.
So
yeah.
this is
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
so
you're right.
so,
Not like
yeah.
burning witches at Salem kind of way. That's not a fun way.
No, no. But
How would you open that?
how about this?
There's many paths to the same God. There's Buddhism.
I mean,
there's
would you say,
Islam.
There's many
No, you'd have to say, "Hey, are you
shit.
really religious?"
Or you don't have to talk about religion. Just talk about the afterlife. Oh, hey, what about ghosts? What about spiritual phenomenon? So you can talk about religion without talking about like God.
That's spiritual.
No, I got it.
That's
I
small
got it.
talk.
Hey,
That's small talk.
Hey,
That's
what
small
about
talk.
buying something called Miracle Mineral Solution that will cure AIDS, autism, Alzheimer's, leukemia, and COVID?
W.C. Fields
What is it?
would be proud.
Is it a rub-on or is it a pill?
Was those the people they just arrested? Didn't
it
they just arrest
yeah.
like 5 people like for selling that?
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was. Yeah, but
I probably know one of them.
Well, they're in Florida, so if you go to a church and just listen to this and then ask yourself, are these people really going to help you become more, I don't know, at tune with whatever God you want? Genesis 2, Church of Health and Healing. Yeah. Is that really?
That's for tax purposes.
Yeah. Is that? I mean, when
They
you
live
hear
there.
that,
You know they live there, right? That's their house. They pay
it's
no
out of their
taxes.
house. It is out of their
yeah,
house.
they pay no
Well,
taxes. Automatic.
Yeah,
bam.
I think if you use your house as a church, like I think it's like 60% of the time you get to file as like you get that religious exemption where you don't have to pay property
Yeah.
taxes.
There's this
on your house.
huge.
You mean the Church of the Real Three Idiots?
Yeah, there's this huge
Or the
church
Church of the Poison Minds?
Listen, there's a huge church on Avondale right by our house. It's not huge, but it's bigger than like anyone's normal house. It's an abandoned church from like the 1940s, and it's now some other church. And my wife's like, I've never seen anybody going in a church. And I looked at her, I go, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, Kelly, somebody lives there.
Oh, so they bought the church.
They bought it, and they don't have a congregation. They bought it and they started their own church, and that's the sign out front that you see.
Wait a minute.
And they're just
By your house
yeah.
is somebody who
That's-
bought a
okay,
church
listen.
and started their own church.
Let me back
We have
up.
to go there.
Let me back up.
You don't have to actually buy a church. You could just buy a house. Because I actually been to like a
No,
temple
what I'm saying,
that
they
was
don't
a
pay no
house.
taxes, Ted. They pay no taxes.
They pay no property taxes. Correct. If you're exempt, if you have that religious
And they live
exemption,
there.
yeah.
But so let me back up and just say this is my theory that I'm 99% sure on. Okay, they don't have service there. You can't look them up. There's no posting. There's never anybody there. But there is a family that lives there, and they do have a sign out front, and it's Korean. It's in Korean, so it's like some Korean. I don't know what the denomination is, but it's Christian.
5s and 10s.
But it's,
That's the denomination they take. Yeah, and 20s if you have them. 20s if you have them.
But I'm like you could. I'm like we could do that.
Are you saying we should? Because if you're saying we should start a church,
first of all,
I absolutely want
the
to do that.
Satanic Temple is having a hard time, but I think they are tax exempt, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they get that status?
Yeah. I
In fact,
believe so,
the
yeah.
temple I
But
went
they're legit. I mean, I'm not gonna.
They're too legit.
The temple I
Yeah.
went to in Minnesota, so they're on like 40 acres of land, and it's a pretty nice structure. But they even say, like in their kind of mission statement, they say this is 40 acres. We built this in '92, and they actually say we are 501c tax. It actually says it like right in with all the
Well, that's different.
that
than
what
being
churches
tax
have to
exempt.
do?
so whatever it's like 501c. Yeah, so you obviously have to have certain. You have to meet a certain criteria. I think I looked it up one time. Like you have to have services like 50% of the time. It doesn't have to be full time.
501c3 doesn't have
Whatever,
anything to do
yeah,
with that.
whatever it is. Yeah.
No, but they're tax exempt as far as the government's concerned. They don't have to pay taxes or anything like
Right,
that on the
right.
property or anything that
Correct.
they own. 501c3 means that they could take in donations, and the person that
Donations, yeah.
donates
Yeah.
can write it off on their taxes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the only way you can write off a donation is if you're giving it to a 501c3 corp.
I see.
So they are that. So they could
Right.
accept big amounts of money. Like big corporations aren't getting money unless there's a benefit to them.
Sure.
Okay, can we get back to the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing?
Sure.
Because they had so besides their regular bullshit scams, they came up with something that was really kind of scary. Okay, they sold something. They didn't sell it actually. They created something called Miracle Mineral Solution that they said could cure all those things I said: AIDS, autism. When COVID came out, because they were doing this way before COVID. When COVID came out, it actually cured that.
They just added COVID to the list.
Yeah, yeah. So now the guy's running it. It was a family, and then another guy who's kind of like the brainchild behind this whole thing. Okay, according to the story, the guy who started this was a billion-year-old god. That's what he told everybody. He was a billion-year-old god. Okay, and he went to South America. And he said he discovered this secret mineral solution, and he was selling it to all these people. And now this is the weird part. Well, he wasn't selling it. If you donated to the church, you would get it for free. So they were
So
kind
you
of
still have to pay for it.
well, yeah, but it was a way around it. So when the government came calling and said you can't sell this stuff, he's like, we're not.
We're giving it away.
Yeah, he said we're not selling this.
Yeah.
Number one, we're not selling this. Okay, we're not doing that. We're giving it away. All right. Now it turns out it was an industrial grade bleaching agent that people actually took.
Wow.
Yeah, I want you to think about the words I just said.
God.
Industrial grade bleaching agent.
Yeah. So good for
that
floors, good
people
for
took that believed.
Ingested.
They believed. I mean, I want you to think about like when you say, "Oh, I can't believe I saw this on TV," or "I can't believe this story. It's not real. These people didn't do that." There were people who thought that this could cure AIDS, leukemia, Alzheimer's, and COVID.
Is that what Magic Johnson was taking?
Don't know.
I
Don't
mean,
know.
So here's the bottom line. There's obviously a lot of vulnerable, impressionable people out there who, are predisposed to want to believe in something that they probably know deep down is a falsehood. And unfortunately, you have these predators, because that's really what they are.
That's all they are.
They're wolves in sheep's clothing, and I think, if you would believe in the Bible, Jesus said, beware of the wolf in sheep's clothing,
Or the guy selling industrial
Which is,
grade
yeah.
bleaching agent.
Obviously, I'm assuming, because I did read the story, I didn't see it with the details, but yeah, there was a group of like 5 of these jagaloons that were all
Well,
busted.
it's a family. So it's
Yeah.
this guy who's the billion-year-old god,
Yeah.
and then this family. Now, here's the weird part, right? The feds finally, after he said they started curing COVID, and then they actually made over $1 million doing this.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So the feds sent him a letter, said cease and desist, stop doing this right now. They sent the feds a letter back. Now, this is your mistake. Don't do this.
Oh.
Don't challenge the government. This is what they said. You have no authority over my church, and you will never stop me.
Oh, okay. That's a challenge. It's like it's like one of those sovereign citizens who gets pulled over and says, "I can enjoy all the benefits of being in America, but I don't have to follow any of your laws, like free range inhabitants." And you know what they do? They get arrested, they get charged. Yeah, so it's like people
I live in the part of Idaho.
Yeah.
I live in the part of Oregon that's going to become Idaho. I don't have to follow any
don't,
of your
don't,
rules.
Don't have to pay taxes. Don't recognize the government. Yeah, you know what? That might work in Burkina Faso or somewhere in South Sudan, where you'd probably be murdered in about 10 minutes anyway. But yeah, you live here. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. So you can believe whatever you want. You can have whatever fantastical, magical thinking you want. But at the end of the day, they'll catch up with you eventually.
What year is this, man?
So this just happened.
This happened in the last
this
week,
is in this
couple weeks,
last
week
yeah.
two. Yeah, week
So
two.
so here's the funny part: the 2 youngest sons. So it ends up being 5 people. It's 3 sons and a dad now. The other guy kind of dumped out of this whole thing. The billion-year-old god.
Yeah, Billy. Yeah,
he knew it was coming. He's a billion-year-old god.
Rick-
He's not stupid.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Ron Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two younger sons get arrested, and the older son and the dad take off. They are at this point now.
Yeah, nice.
They are somewhere in South America.
Yeah, of course.
In a non-extradition country.
Yeah.
While his 2 sons are in the pokey.
Yeah.
For all of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey dad. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Took one for God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, if they didn't
Taking
do anything,
one for Team
if
God.
they didn't do anything wrong, why leave? Why not just why not invoke your creator in court and he'll rescue you
Ted,
or she.
It's not like they're
Or it-
billion-year-old gods. Yeah, that guy's long gone.
So speaking of billion, he's probably serving 1 billion years. No, I'm just kidding.
So I worked with a guy.
nobody died.
Oh my
Nobody
God.
died from taking this.
Oh, yeah,
Obviously, this
yeah.
fake.
People died and got super sick.
Yeah,
Oh,
obviously.
Yeah, people
Of
multiple,
course. I'm
multiple
sure people got
died.
sick. People died.
Multiple people died, and tons of people got sick. They were drinking. I'm going to say this again. Are you ready? Industrial grade bleaching
Yeah.
agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I worked with a guy.
Oh
All right, you ready for this?
No.
He, on the side, sold, and this is what they were called, magic gas pills for your car. Have you ever heard this? It's like the oldest scam in America. So it was in 2000. So when we had the recession, what was that, like 2008?
Okay.
Gas prices was through the roof and everything. All of a sudden, he starts selling these magic gas pills. So I come to work one day, and he's got it all over his car. Magic gas pills. Call Patrick. He's got his number on and everything like this. And he's going out. At the time, it was for a mortgage broker. So we'd go call in sales offices, real estate offices. This guy's going to realtors' offices with this on his car. So he comes upstairs. He finds out, I'm going to Minnesota that next week. He goes, oh, dude, you got to buy some of these pills. I'm like, are you fucking out of your mind? There is no magic pill you could put. So you're supposed to open up your gas cap.
What's it supposed to do?
You drop it into your gas tank before you fill up, and then it is going to somehow make the gas more efficient so that you get way more miles to the gallon. That's what the magic gas pill
It doesn't
does.
burn as much gas.
And it looks like an aspirin. And
Wait,
because it isn't. Because it is. Because it is an aspirin.
so he's because
it's a bear. It's
car
a,
has a headache.
It's a 53 milligram bear. it's a low dose bear
It's
aspirin.
got a B on it. It actually has a B on
Yeah,
it.
it's a low.
It's one of those tainted Tylenols. Yeah.
So I said to him, I go, dude, are you out of your mind? He's like, it works. I just went on a trip with my family, and I wrote down all the mileage, and he's showing me, he's like, I got this much without the gas pill. On the way home, I put the gas pill in, we got this much. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm like, looking at
That's
him
good
like,
small talk for Roger.
Yeah. I just wrote down my golf score. Nobody saw it, but it was actually 68. I wrote it down. Look, it's right here.
I got a 19.
So I go down, I go, does our boss, I don't know if I can say her name, does our boss know that you're making sales calls with your fucking car all doctored up with a magic gas pill? As soon as you pull up, they're going to think you're a nutcase. And he's getting mad now. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to piss you off, but anything that you sell that has the word magic in it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as magic. There's no magic.
Oh, I would.
Well,
you
magic
know we're going to
doesn't
have
exist.
we're going to have a magic expert.
Yeah, but magicians.
No. He's a professor from some
that's
university.
different, though. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. he's gonna
But
tell you.
anyway, that's my gas pill story.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's
people
a
wait, and
lot
people
of scammers.
people actually bought this.
He did sell them. I don't even. It's like what Ted said. So there's people like they fall for this stuff. They're desperate, right? They're sick. They try to find. People are broke. Maybe they got to make a trip. Why not? I'll buy it for $10. Let's see if it works.
Well,
they convince themselves that it works.
Well, you know what you're selling. You know what they're selling. You're selling hope.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
thought
you're
you were
selling.
selling stupidity.
Yeah, well, we are.
Well,
we're peddling in stupidity. No, but I mean, what these con
Except
artists
it's
are selling.
free, Ted. We're not. We're
what the-
selling. What we're selling is free.
Yeah, I mean, you could extrapolate that to like dating apps where the scammers, they're selling hopes and dreams, right? You're selling hopes and dreams to people. It just takes on a different form, with these different these bad actors. That's all. But in the end of the day, that's what you're selling. You're selling something to better somebody's life, whether it's a magic pill to weight loss. And by the way, I think there actually are new
there's a
prescription
million of those,
medications that are actually really good for weight loss, supposedly. But these are FDA approved. But yeah.
It
So
doesn't matter. The FDA is a joke, man.
I thought that one was a joke.
Yeah, and so is the FDA. All right, are you guys ready for a little true crime?
I love true crime.
Can we? Did you guys read the story that I gave you?
I didn't get around to it, but you're gonna debrief me.
I did.
Okay.
Just don't depants me
Okay.
like Father Guido.
So you know what? I don't even know if I want to call it true crime. I think I just want to call it stupid crime. I really do, because I feel like we don't really deal in like true crime. We're not solving anything, but I think in some of these, I think we can.
We're just commenting.
Okay. No, but I think we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go for our true crime this week. Let's go to the state of Washington. And by the way, I'll clue you in part on this. Okay. A man and his puppy, and you guys might have saw the story. A man and his puppy were found dead on a hiking trail in Washington State. Did you see this story?
I did not. No, I'm not familiar with the story at all.
I saw it. Matt sent it to us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things I said,
didn't see
please just read this so you know what we're going to talk about, Ted.
I saw the guy who drove through the parade in Wauconda. That's
I will tell you this.
Did you see the guy who drove through the triathlon?
Yeah, the kids triathlon
kids'
in
triathlon?
Wauconda.
That's what
and
he's talking about.
Yeah, and they
Yeah, Ted
confiscated
just
his
said
car.
that.
They took his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's
You
what
sent that to us before this.
but here's what I don't understand about that. Why would parents force their kids to be in a fucking triathlon? That's more cruel than driving through one.
Yeah.
What kind of shitty parents?
Yeah,
I mean, I get making your kid play basketball or softball or whatever.
Triathlon's brutal.
You're making your kid.
2 mile swim, 5 mile run, 10-mile.
Normally I would
biking,
say
I don't know.
normally I would say they're not making their kid do anything. But in this case, what rational kid knows anything about a triathlon?
Right.
Yeah, there's no way.
No, they
that
were
there
they
are-
were
and
strongly
how old,
encouraged.
How old were they?
They were children. I mean, they
Like
were
11 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, the only way a kid does a triathlon is if his parents do triathlons and
And
they
yep.
force him to do it.
Yeah.
Right? There's the cruelty right there.
Yeah.
Driving through them probably saved their lives because half of them are hurt and they don't have to do this
You know, it'd
shit.
be great if it was a triathlon with like 3 and 4 year olds, where they're riding they're riding trikes, and the swim is in like a kiddie pool,
Yeah.
and then like the running part is like on a trampoline or something.
Jimmy, you piece of shit, swim faster. What the hell? You're the worst 4-year-old on the planet. Yeah, I when I saw that, I was actually sick. I was like, what kind of horrible parent does this?
Yeah, because the guy who drove the parade, it didn't make it sound like he was trying to hit somebody. He was just trying to get through to
Right.
get to the other side
Right.
where he was going. He wasn't trying to. He just didn't want to take
No,
the detour.
and Ted's right, and I'm
He
telling you
didn't
this.
wanna
I read
take the
no, and
detour.
Ted is right.
It's true.
Listen, it is true, and I'm going to say this. I would like to see how the fucking town of Wauconda set up these roadblocks and what these Wakanda police officers were doing, where this guy can go by this guy, that barricade, get here, and get to the point to where finally they stop him.
Wakanda's not a big town. I've been through
No,
Wakanda.
it's like Keystone Cops up
It's
there.
like you take 176 and it's just like a 2-lane road. and
Ted,
there's
there's probably like
downtown.
10 cops there.
Hold on a second. In my defense, officer, I really didn't want to go around the detour, so I just kind of drove through.
He probably there's probably. I mean, whatever.
No, there's no defense for that.
So when you said when I read this article, I'm thinking, oh man, that's like crazy. But I'm thinking, wait a minute, it's Wauconda. They probably had a fucking cone and a cop sitting on a cell phone, and the guy just went around the cone. But there was
He didn't pay attention, like he didn't know.
right, and there was nobody in sight because the part of the triathlon where they might have been swimming at the time.
Yeah,
so nobody was in the road.
So it might have been ambiguous. It might have been
Well,
ambiguous.
no,
yeah.
hang on. Swimming's part of it. Swimming, running, and biking,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So it might have been the swimming part. So the road was wide open. He didn't see anybody out there. Went around the cone, and then the next cop comes up, and he doesn't know what the hell's going on because there's no spectators, there's no kids, there's nothing going on. Or empty
You're
streets.
telling me that that place wasn't lined with parents screaming at their kids to run
Not
faster.
the street if they were swimming. There's no
Swim
kids.
faster, you piece of
Do you
shit.
know why he didn't run in any? I'm not defending this guy, by the way. I'm just saying that he didn't run anybody over because there was nobody running in the streets at that time. So the guy didn't.
And he's not there to run somebody
He
over.
wasn't
just,
plowing
yeah.
into people.
He just wants. He
was just inconvenienced and was just
he allegedly
Yes,
ignored some marked barriers that
This
might
is-
have been
this
ambiguous.
is one of those stories that when you read it, you're like, who the fuck would do a thing like this?
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, okay, let's back up.
Yeah.
What did he see, and what was it?
Yeah.
What was the
He-
setup?
he-
Was
he-
there anybody around? No.
Yeah, he's a middle-aged guy driving a custom
Was there-
Mustang, right? He's driving a custom. They
was
made
there
they made it a
roadblocks?
point to make it
No.
sound. He's driving a custom Mustang.
so he had the music going,
Yeah,
windows
so,
open.
He's got the midlife crisis.
I'm
he's got the
picturing
he's got-
Frank the Tank.
He's got the midlife crisis thing
Frank
going.
the
Yeah,
Tank.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty big
Yeah.
day.
No, but I am saying that it's hilarious that the story goes on, but we don't know any of the details of what he saw. Like, what did it look like from his viewpoint?
Whoa,
That's a good point. Yeah.
Did they have
See,
a roadblock?
Hold on. So I kind of like that.
Did they have signs?
True crime from my viewpoint.
Because
Yeah.
isn't it hard to believe that somebody would do what they're accusing him of doing? And he did do it. But what did he do? Did he go around a cone?
Well, we don't know what he saw
By
exactly.
a police officer that was sleeping?
we don't
because
know.
everybody was down at the lake?
we
because
don't
that
know.
part of the race wasn't going on yet? Because I've been part of 5K runs where I had to work security.
Yeah.
And you sit there for 45 minutes. Because, first of all, the race hasn't started yet. But you got to block off all the streets. So the streets are blocked off for 20 minutes.
That's an inconvenience to me. If
And
I'm
then-
driving, that's an inconvenience to me that I just can't live with.
But in the race lasts about 20 minutes.
A 5K race?
Well, from start to finish, like when you set up all the barricades, you got like 20 to 30 minutes. And you start breaking them down as the last
What's
runner.
5K, like 3.5 miles? That's 5K, right? 3.5 miles.
Ted, I have never in my life
Never ran a 5K.
ever thought about
it's like
or
three
will
point-
do run any
Isn't
kind
it like
of.
the turkey trot every year? It's like
Yes.
like even around here, like right by.
Oh, yeah,
the
when we're
Parks Park.
playing,
Yeah.
our football game,
Yeah,
our turkey
always has
bowl.
some
Yeah.
turkey.
So I had an
trot.
incident when I was doing it. We had Devon. It was actually major streets blocked off, and I had to work at the end of my house. It was like Devon, which is a major street, right? We had it
Right.
blocked off right there, and somebody wanted to get through to go to the park. But
Did you just explain to him they
Oh,
had
I
to go in
went-
a different way?
yeah, I said, I'm like, you're not. She wanted to get out of the car, and move the barricades. I'm like, you're not moving these barricades.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
But now, in her defense, I will say this: 10 minutes earlier, there was other idiots that were running the race like me that were actually letting people go through because they knew the race didn't start yet. Okay.
Okay.
But I knew this race started, and I knew that runners were imminent that were going to be coming down the direction that she wanted to go. So I'm like, you can't do that now. And then there's a point to where you start getting a little, okay, the race is going to start in a few minutes. You got to stop letting cars through. It is what it is now. People got to go around. I know it's inconvenient, but they got to figure out a way to get around it, and they can. So,
Yeah, there's always a way.
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been in that situation before where you pull up to like a little bit of a like what do you call it, one of those horses, and you don't see any runners, you don't see anybody around. You're like, why is this here? And why is this guy standing here? I'm just going to go around him. I'm in my car. And I think that's kind of what happened. And then finally it got to the point to where one of the cops wasn't on his phone and probably said, "So hello."
Is this what we're saying? So everything revolved around
Have you
a
been to
cop being on his
Wauconda?
phone.
Have you been to Wakanda?
I've been. It's a
I've
very
been through
small.
Wauconda,
It's
yeah.
a very
Okay.
small kind of hickish town.
Yeah. It's like a town back
And I'm
from
not.
like
I mean, I
Yeah,
know.
it's a small
I know
town.
cops in small towns. I'm not trying to. They'll be the first ones.
You are
to-
disparaging them. You have disparaged the cops of Wakanda have been disparaged several times by you.
I'm just disparaging
This
the
wouldn't
cops
hap- this-
that have to work
yeah.
these events.
Well, this wouldn't happen in a
The
small town.
rookies.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. I have to golf in Wakanda, and I have to drive through there. So I think the police are the best police of all police that are in Wakanda. Just so you know.
I bowled in Wakanda.
All right, so let's get on with
Anyway,
with
yeah.
your,
So
with your
Washington
story.
State
Okay.
man and dog
So
found
let me
This is
set
good.
this-
deceased.
So when you sent this, I read it and I actually looked up. It shows photos of the guy and the puppy.
Cute puppy.
Oh my god,
It was actually sad. That was sad when that puppy died. Yeah, I didn't really give a shit about the guy,
the guy.
but it's a cute puppy.
The guy looked like a cool guy too.
Okay, so where was he? Where were they found?
Okay.
So
So
let's go.
they're in Washington, state of Washington.
Right.
Okay, they're on a hiking trail,
Right.
and they come across them and they're dead.
Yeah, they're on the trail. They're dead.
They're on the trail.
Yeah,
right,
they found.
yeah,
they found.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
found
Right
him
there.
and his puppy
Him and his puppy
Yeah.
dead.
naked.
No one's naked. I mean, the dog. I mean, I don't know. Is a dog naked? No, everyone had clothes on. Okay, so here's the problem. The first thing that happens is the cops come up, and they're local cops. It's a small town,
Yeah.
right? And the first cop comes onto the scene, and he kind of makes a determination of what happened. Okay,
That's
And
not that's not his job. But go ahead.
right. And but he makes that determination, and he accidentally takes it one step too far. Okay, so he makes his determination. He calls the brother of the guy who died. Okay, and he says, "We found your brother and his dog dead, and we know what happened."
Oh wow.
Okay, yeah, we figured it out. It's pretty
It's
obvious.
fucking Perry Mason.
Right, right. Great show on HBO, by the way. Okay, and he says, here's what happened. Your brother smoked some lace marijuana and fell on a sharp stick and died.
So describe what the gentleman that passed away looks like.
He's a regular guy. I mean, he's just you and I. I mean, he's
Well, no, you
How-
didn't see
like
a
how-
picture.
how old
He's
was
got
he?
no. He's got.
Like
he
his
looks
30s?
like. He looks like. He's got a long beard. He looks like a guy that brews microbrew. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
all
yeah,
right?
he actually does. He actually does.
So he looks like a cold, laid back guy.
Yeah. A
Right.
free
So-
free spirit.
Well, I mean, just
You
like
know.
somebody's in a like me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just a
Looks
regular.
like me.
He's a regular guy. Okay, so
Obviously,
so,
he didn't die of natural causes.
He
Like,
did
what,
not
his-
die of
his
natural
30s,
causes.
His 20s
So-
or 30s, yeah, whatever
so-
it is, yeah. So
Now the cop doesn't mention it, but
Thank you, Ted.
obviously the guy fell on a sharp stick. It was assumed that the dog committed suicide because he was so
the
sad.
sharp stick must be
Ted-
angled up like it was just angled up from the trail.
Hey,
It's
why
just-
do I?
Yes.
Why do I
It's
feel
just-
Ted's gonna tell a chimpanzee the sharp stick story?
I want to hear this. Okay, I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Was he murdered by a chimpanzee?
So that's the
So he was
story.
impaled on the stick when they
He's
found him.
impaled on the
By a
stick
chimp.
because he was so. Yeah, and the dog was sexually assaulted by the chimp. Yeah. But so the guy, so the brother says this is a problem for me because my brother doesn't get high. He just doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't get high. And they were actually together at one point hiking, and the one brother kind of got lost.
Same day, right?
Same day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the one brother kind of got lost, and he goes, yeah, no point did we have any dope. Yeah, he doesn't smoke dope.
So he was the last one to see him alive, his own brother.
Yeah.
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 So it's not like he disappeared
No
like for a
dope.
day or
Right.
he was
sharp
gone for like.
stick.
Right.
So
And-
he got separated from his brother. At some point during the next few hours, which wasn't a long time, they find this
Dead.
gentleman deceased. Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Okay, and the dog dead, right? Okay, so he
How'd
says
the dog die?
the dog had a serious case of mental illness, and that's why he killed himself. Yeah. It was confirmed mental
took
illness.
his own life.
Yeah, he took his own life. It's just,
He choked himself out.
he was
like Full Metal Jacket choked
No,
herself.
yeah, on his leash, right?
Yeah.
No, with my.
yeah, he hung himself. He
Oh,
hung
my
himself
hand.
with his own leash. Okay, so now you guys remember the story about the teacher in Philadelphia that was stabbed like 20 times,
In
and
her
the cop
kitchen.
said,
kitchen. In her
yeah,
kitchen.
and the cop
yeah.
said that she killed herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suicide.
Okay. Yeah, she suicided herself.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like any terrible police department, right? So the guy says,
Wait, is this the same cop?
no, different. Yeah, he moved from Philadelphia one coast to the next.
Yeah.
So the kid, the brother is just like, yeah, that couldn't have happened, man. So
Yeah.
we need some more information.
We need a coroner on the scene.
Right.
We need to not contaminate the crime scene with fucking Barney Fife over here
So I
making
guess-
determinations about what happened and what didn't happen.
So
yeah.
again, small town. This is key.
Yeah.
Small town. So I guess the cop on the scene did everything wrong. He moved the body.
Yeah,
He did all sorts of
contaminated-
stuff.
It's called contaminating the crime scene.
Yeah.
Don't first rule. You're a detective. Don't touch shit.
He touched everything.
He touched everything,
Okay?
yeah,
He
right.
touched everything. So they did an actual autopsy, okay? And they found that, no, the guy did not have any dope in his system,
Mm-hmm.
but him and the dog both had one thing in common. A gunshot wound.
I was gonna say.
So the first cop mistook a gunshot wound for a sharp stick. Okay? So it's kind of going on. And
A hole's a hole.
Wait. So it's two gunshots. So the
no,
dog
one,
was.
no.
Oh.
One gunshot.
Oh, okay.
So one gunshot. And what happened is the guy, the bullet that was in the guy had dog DNA in it. So they realized that whoever shot him
Yeah.
shot the dog. It went through the dog.
Yeah.
Right? And they were obviously trying to kill the dog.
Yeah.
He was
right?
probably
'Cause-
holding the dog.
Yeah, he was holding the dog.
Yeah.
It went through the dog, hit the guy.
Yeah, because it was a
Right.
puppy. It was a little puppy.
So he's holding the dog.
Right.
Like this.
Yeah, he's holding the dog cradling in his arms.
So he got shot from the front, obviously.
He
Yeah.
got shot from the front.
Yeah.
Now, we all know dog walking. We all know how dangerous being around a dog is when you're walking around. So that was pretty explainable. That one kind of made sense to me, okay? So at this point, the cops now figure they have a dog killer on the loose.
You're being sarcastic. You're being sarcastic.
What? No. The dog was shot first.
I know.
Okay.
But you're talking-
Okay, so the guy was not collateral damage, okay? Now, a couple of days later, this is kind of important. A couple of days later, after everything was done, a 19-year-old kid says he was in the woods with his girlfriend and his dad's sweet-ass 9mm Glock, and he may have shot that guy, but it wasn't his fault. Yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
He may have shot him.
So he's obviously shooting the gun. Like he's not like maybe
Ted, he
aiming.
may have shot him.
Yeah.
He's not sure.
Well, he's the only one there with the gun in proximity to this
so
guy.
just to give you an idea, okay, the guy was shot right through the chest. He's
Yeah.
holding the dog in front of him.
Yeah.
Right through the chest, perfect chest
Yeah.
shot,
Yeah.
okay? So now the kid realizes that he's in trouble, and he's got to kind of tell a story.
Yeah.
So he tells an awesome story.
Mm-hmm.
So give me an idea. What do you think a kid could say that he could get away with or try to get away with shooting a guy in the chest, shooting a dog and a guy in the chest?
He was out there hunting, and there was a deer, and he went to go shoot the deer, and the deer moved and shot. Because there was actually
He's got a handgun.
there was actually
He's got a handgun. He wasn't hunting with a handgun.
but there was actually a movie like that where these two guys actually went on a hunting trip.
with Glock 9s.
And, yeah, and no, they had hunting rifles. So basically, the guy's like sighting up a deer, and then right at the last minute, the deer moves its head, and then there's like a kid who just happened to be
Rambo?
hiking, yeah, and then he shot the kid by accident.
That happens a lot.
Shot the
But that-
kid.
not with Glock 9s.
Yeah, but killed the kid, and then like the parent or the uncle who was walking with the kid, obviously loses his shit, because the kid's dead, and
he revenge kills everyone?
No, and then they basically shot him too, just to because it just spiraled out of control. So I'm just saying that's how fast it could happen.
Okay,
So-
that doesn't happen all the time.
So once
But
again, that kind of
people
supports
accidentally
my
get shot.
Yeah.
that kind of supports my
He's
tried
out
to
there
murder a
hunting.
dog and
I'm-
didn't see the
okay,
guy
so
holding it.
I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you what I think happened.
Okay.
I'm going to say that there was some distance between the kid with the gun and the guy and his dog.
Yes.
And he was holding the dog, and from a distance, because I seen a picture of the guy and I seen a picture of the dog. From a distance, the puppy. It's a puppy. It's probably like
4 months old. It's 4 months old.
4 months old. The puppy probably looked like a badger that was attacking the guy, And the kid's like, I'm going to shoot. That fucking badger's going to kill that guy unless I shoot the badger.
Oh, my God.
So that's what he told the police.
You know what? That is not bad.
No, did he tell the police that?
He had a similar story. Here's what he said. Now, and this makes zero sense, but this is a story he told. He said he heard growling, and he turned because he thought a wild animal was going to kill him, and he turned and he shot. And he happened to just shoot perfectly in the chest a man standing there with a dog in his hands.
Were they able to determine how far away he was when the gunshot was fired? I think they can figure that out ballistically.
They absolutely did, and he was pretty close. Now, here's the only thing. There's a couple of things that I thought of right away, okay? Number one, does a 4-year-old puppy growl? I mean, does that sound like a terrifying bear? 4-month old.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a bear? I mean, I've heard puppies like
whine.
Yeah.
I saw this puppy. This puppy
It's too cute to growl.
Yeah, no, it was not like.
So you think it was a premeditated murder?
Well, here's the thing. So I don't know, right? So immediately, you remember our buddy Jason Knight from Alderleaf Wilderness College?
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave him, I shot him a text, and I said, hey, man, I heard this.
You shot Jason?
No, I sent him a text. I sent him a text, and I said,
you
hey,
be
man,
careful shooting text messages.
did you hear about this story? And he said, yeah. He said it was total bullshit. He said there's no way it could have happened like that. And he goes, and the key to any kind of gunfire is never, ever fire at something that you can't see. So why would you just randomly fire? And the odds of this guy just turning and firing into space and hitting this guy in the chest was basically nil. Yeah. To be able to turn and shoot this guy,
Yeah, I mean,
in the chest is impossible.
anything's possible, but I mean, yeah, but it sounds like obviously premeditated, murder.
So
But
here's
there's more to the story.
So you ready? So when they found out that this kid came through and said this, okay, the cop, same cop,
yeah,
same cop. They had to interview him. And what did he say? He's a good kid.
yeah. Oh, there is, yeah,
From a good family.
yeah. Which
Good
doesn't,
kid from a good
you know what that
family.
means? Doesn't mean shit.
Is this
Right.
Wauconda?
Doesn't mean shit.
It's
Yeah.
not Wauconda.
He was working parade duty in fucking Wakanda the day before that. Yeah.
Wakandian police, I love you. I love you a lot. Arrest Mark. Do not arrest me, okay? All right.
I go around Wauconda. You know why? Because I can. It's that small.
So it gets better. At some point, the cops were kind of strong-arming the coroner to put down in the death certificate.
Sharp stick?
Yeah,
No. This is what they. No, this is what they.
Gunshot wound.
Straight up, the coroner said this. They wanted him to say that the guy died from a heart attack and that the dog had ass cancer. No, I'm just kidding about the dog. No, they wanted this. So at one point, the coroner said that the cops came and said, write down on here that he died from a heart attack. Yeah. So trying to get away from this kid shooting.
So
this guy.
this kid must
They're
have
not
some.
saying he didn't shoot him, but he's saying that,
He must.
that wasn't
He
the
must.
cause
I mean,
of
he
death.
must have some standing in the
So
community.
he died of a heart
Yeah.
attack and then the kid shot him?
Well, obviously you can't hide the fact that he has bullets in him. A bullet in him.
You mean like a really sharp stick?
The one that went, the one that went through his heart.
Yeah.
Killed him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So actually, this police department, or especially this cop, sounds obviously completely incompetent, if not on the take. So there's actually been cases like this where the federal government will actually come in and actually dismantle the entire police force of a certain municipality because they, after a while they become their own little fiefdom. For example, the common thing is like speed traps. So there's towns, for example, where they're known speed traps where their main source of revenue is to pull over unsuspecting people, write them huge fine like speeding tickets because they can't challenge them because they're from out of state. So I think it was almost like a criminal enterprise.
Oh, yeah.
Or it was like a pretextual traffic stop where they knew in advance they're going to pull these people over, and it's basically like legal extortion. And so the federal government would just come in and actually just dismantle the entire police force from the police captain or the lieutenant right on down.
So the people, the cops in Wakanda are screwed?
Radar gun.
Yeah. But they finally, I mean, after everything's done, now here's the funny thing. The guy, well, the strange thing.
Yeah.
The brother of the guy who was killed, he's suing that city.
Sure.
That city for $20 million
for him.
because of all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. And now they're bringing charges against the kid and his girlfriend.
Can we find out? Are we going to be able to plug in? Because this happened like 6 months ago.
No, this is recent, right? This is. I mean, how long?
It happened a while ago, but
Okay.
all the charges
It's still
and
going
everything,
through.
all
Right?
the,
There's
yeah.
no
all the
conclusion
things-
yet.
Yeah.
No, there's
No,
no
there's
conclusion.
no. That's what I'm saying.
So he's
let's
been-
follow. Let's follow.
Has
this,
he been
'cause
has he been charged criminally? The kid.
So him and his girlfriend,
Yeah.
right? Because obviously he was trying to impress his girlfriend by murdering someone.
she's accessory because she didn't come forward and say that.
Right.
Did she rat him out?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Do you know what they're being charged with? Okay, it's comical in a sense that this guy's dead. They're going to face manslaughter charges, and are you ready for this? Animal cruelty charges for killing the dog.
Yeah, yeah.
That seems kind of silly, doesn't it? They killed a fucking dog. Who gives a shit about the dog?
Actually, you do more jail time for the dog crime.
Well, Michael Vick's are 2 years for animal cruelty in federal prison. So I mean, but here's the thing is you got to charge them with as much as you can. Because if they get convicted, some of those sentences can run consecutively, which actually adds more time. And then, probably when you overcharge somebody, then, maybe like she'll flip on the boyfriend eventually. Because you said it wasn't just him, it was him, the girlfriend, and like the father was out there too.
No, he had his dad's gun.
So that's
Oh,
the
his
other
dad's
thing
gun.
too. Is
Okay,
it's not even his gun.
Yeah, he had his dad's gun.
Yeah.
So
So obviously the girlfriend obviously knows.
guns don't kill people.
No, people with guns kill people.
Yeah, but obviously she
Or
knew.
people don't kill people.
I mean, obviously,
something like that.
after he shot this guy, I'm sure he told her some mea culpa statement, though, so she knows.
What are you talking about? They probably got off on it.
It's probably
Ted,
maybe, it sounds like a thrill killing, like
Yeah.
a thrill killing. There's a guy by himself in the woods. We're gonna kill him. We're gonna get away with it. No one
like
sees us.
Heathers, like the movie Heathers.
I never
have
saw
no
that
idea
movie,
what
yeah.
that
But
movie
it's
is,
like
but
just
yeah.
thrill killers. Like they just want to see what it's like to kill somebody.
Right.
And
That's exactly what
they
this sounds
high-five
like.
each other. They get the little adrenaline rush from that. Yeah, so that's what it was.
And then
that sounds
you
what
know,
it was.
his old man calls the cop and says, "Listen, this happened. How can we cover this up?" And the cop's just like, "Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
A sharp stick."
Yeah.
There's a chimp on the loose with a sharp stick.
Yeah. Sounds
It's
like
all-
the worst
it's
cop
all-
ever.
It's all about the sharp stick.
Yeah.
So now I was looking at this. I'm just like, oh man, this has to be an isolated incident. It's not. Check this out. In the same state, right after this, two 14-year-olds shot a 50-year-old woman while they were hunting.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for this? She, excuse me, she's wearing a bright blue poncho at the time. These two 14-year-olds by themselves were hunting for bear. They killed her.
Beer.
Bear, B-E-A-R. They were hunting bear. Okay. And this is a 50-year-old woman who's wearing a bright blue poncho. They shot her, and she's dead. Okay. And the kids said that they mistook her for a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually
the blue bear.
Blue bear.
The blue bear.
Actually,
Those
it's
are the ones that sell the toilet paper.
I didn't even think about that.
No, it's
Doesn't
actually
that freak
when you
you
think
out?
about it, it is almost a
that can-
perfect crime. I mean, because actually, if you're going to kill somebody, the woods, it's isolated. You see somebody, you already have a weapon. You're there so you have a pretext for having the weapon to begin with, and you see somebody, and you just get in your head like, hey, it's a crime. Some of it's a crime of opportunity. Like, hey, I see somebody walking. What's it like to kill somebody or shoot somebody? And then and then if you happen to get caught, which they probably think they never will, but if you do, you say, oh yeah, it was a hunting accident. I thought they were a wild animal.
Right.
So yeah, it makes perfect sense.
But you want to hear this is the thing that really stood out to me because they're only 14.
They
So
can be
let's
charged
just
as
say-
adults.
No. They're going to be. They cannot be. They'll be charged as juveniles.
Yeah.
Okay. If they get convicted.
Yeah, they get out when they're 21.
Oh, way worse than that, Teddy. If they're convicted of this crime, here's the most they can serve: 9 months in a juvenile facility, and then they get free.
Do you know where this happened, Ted?
I don't know where that
State of Washington.
No, Pepper Fansville. You know who's the sheriff? Brian Bosworth.
No, none of that is accurate.
It's not?
No, that is not accurate. But I'm just telling you, man.
Wait, Brian Bosworth is not the sheriff of Pepper
Peppers,
Fanstown?
Dr. Pepperville. That is the stupidest thing ever. By the way, no one likes Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Why?
I love Dr.
Well, I
Pepper.
mean, we know what you could do.
don't.
I love Dr. Pepper. My kids love Dr. Pepper. I actually just picked up 2 Dr. Peppers from the basement today.
Well, actually,
I don't drink soda though. I haven't had a Dr. Pepper in probably a year.
I've never had.
Then why would you go down in the basement and get 2 Dr. Peppers?
Well, I was cleaning the basement and there was 2 empty Dr.
It's actually
Peppers
been years since I had a Dr Pepper. But to go back to those 14-year-olds,
You look like a Mr. Pibb guy.
so basically, I remember Mr. Pip. So basically, it sounds like even the worst case scenario, these 2 14-year-olds are basically going to get away with murder. I mean, and plus,
absolutely.
and you know their record's
Wait,
going to get
how old are
expunged.
they?
14.
14.
Oh, I didn't catch. I didn't know that.
And you know their record's going to get
I
expunged.
wasn't even paying
killed the
attention
woman.
to this show.
Yeah, and you know too,
No,
and
I'm
you know
joking.
their
I mean-
record's going to get expunged when they're 21. So it's like it never happened.
No, but in this town,
Yeah.
they're both 14. That
Yeah.
equals 28, Ted. They're going to be charged as a.
But here's
Sarge is a really dumb adult.
No, I'm not saying this should happen, but let's assume they get out after 9 months of serving 9 months, which will be will go
That's
quick.
the worst that can happen.
Here's what I think should happen. Hopefully, there'll be some concerned citizen that maybe takes matters into their own hands.
Whoa!
And,
No, stop, Ted.
And
stop,
I
Ted.
don't know. Yeah.
Whoa.
Stop, Ted.
I don't know.
We
just
are
saying,
not.
Just saying.
We are not saying eye for an eye.
We just went from Dr. Peppertown to Smallsville.
Yeah.
Yeah. No shit.
Well, you got two 14-year-old murderers out there, right? I mean, they got away with it, basically high-fiving each other. And yeah, they'll serve 9 months in, some juvie detention
At best.
center at best.
At best.
And I'm sure their attorneys will say they're troubled youth. They're
It's
troubled
like,
youths.
Are you talking like Judge Dredd?
Utes.
Like
No,
Judge
actually-
Dredd's going to come around
no,
or
you know what you
Mad
should do?
Max?
No, you know what you should do? You should put him in the same room with the
You're
priest.
guilty.
Put him in the priest with the soft mouth.
Oh, you know what? You know what?
The kissing mouth.
the kissing mouth.
Oh my god.
The tongue whisperer. Put him in the same
Oh
room with the
my
tongue
God.
whisperer.
Ted should move to Venezuela.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You'd be perfect in El Salvador.
El
with
Salvador,
with those
yeah.
cops. Yeah. Yeah. Just killing everybody. All right. No, it was just such a weird story, and then to follow it up because I looked it up and I was like hunting accidents, and there were hundreds of these things where people are getting killed. And nothing happens.
There was a guy a couple of years ago, and I think they caught the guy who did it. But yeah, he was not hunting, but he was just camping with his 2 young daughters, somewhere like Oregon, Washington State. Because obviously there's a lot of camping out there. Some guy just
soon to be. I mean, Oregon, Idaho.
just some lone random nutbag, I guess, shot him through his tent and killed him. He was like some orthopedic doctor, and the kids are alive. But yeah, they caught this guy, and of course he looks like the type of guy that the wild-eyed nut guy who nutbag who lives off the grid somewhere. They caught this dude, yeah, and like he'll get convicted probably, but it doesn't do this guy any good. So that's why I'm never a fan of camping. Why would you go into a tent in the middle of a dark forest where not only the wild animals can get you, but just there's always some lone asshole out there who his mother didn't hug him when he was a kid, and now he's got some type of vendetta.
It sounds like wild animals are the least of your concerns.
Yeah, at least the concerns. I mean, bears are pretty dangerous, but I mean,
Only bears with guns.
Yeah.
Honestly, only
On
if they have
cocaine.
weapons.
On cocaine.
Yeah.
Can we switch gears since we're talking about death?
No.
No.
What do you want? Go ahead.
So we saw Oppenheimer, and I was telling Matt this the other day, Ted. So the movie's interesting because it's talking about the making of the atom bomb.
Yeah, so Oppenheimer's the main scientist who helped make the atomic bomb.
Yeah, he was the one that was tasked by the government to.
Of America, right?
Yeah.
Did he defect from Germany, or was he like always?
No,
from
he's
America?
American.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
So
Was that the bomb they dropped on near Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
yes, those
Okay.
two bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things there's a moral dilemma with some of the scientists involved. So they knew that if they created this bomb in time and they used it, they could end the war, right? Or they could say they have it and show proof that they have it, and they say they're going to use it, and it would end the war. But the only problem is Hitler already died at this time, and Japan was never going to surrender.
Yeah.
So
That was
they-
actually that song,
so-
No Retreat, No
So
Surrender.
this is
That was actually about Japan.
1944 because that's when
Right.
the war ended. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So they dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
Mhm.
and the war ended. So, but the moral dilemma was we created a weapon and a science, and it's only going to grow from here. Like in the future, this is it. This is the future of warfare now.
Yeah.
That everyone's going to have a nuclear bomb.
Well, Putin actually moved nuclear weapons to Belarus.
Yeah.
Just recently. So I mean, don't think just because Ukraine's winning these small little skirmishes here and there, because Russia's got more nuclear weapons than anyone in the world, and I guarantee you, if you wanted to use them, they'll be outraged the next day. But you're not taking over Russia. I mean, you can cut them off and make them a
If he
social
uses
pariah.
nuclear bombs, who's going to be outraged? We'll all be dead.
Right. So that's where I'm
Yeah.
going with this. That's exactly where I'm going with this. So flash forward 40 years, well, not even 40 years. We've developed nuclear weapons like the world's never seen, all through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And then we had a missile called the Titan II missile that held a nuclear warhead on it. And so,
Yeah, I heard of that.
the Titan II missile with the so there was hundreds of them all over America in underground
Yeah,
silos.
it's called SAC and MAC Air Force.
Yeah.
So Air Force Base. So basically, the government leases land from farmers like in Wyoming, Idaho, Colorado, and they have the missile silos.
Arkansas,
Yeah. North Dakota,
Arizona,
South Dakota.
yeah.
So are you
Arizona has one.
are you trying to scare us?
No, no. Well, they don't use the Titan II anymore, but they don't use that technology to detonate it either. But there are nuclear warheads.
On submarine.
What
on
I'm saying
submarines
is,
too.
though,
Yeah,
the original atom bomb that they dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, was massive, and I think Hiroshima ended up I think the death count. I mean, it killed like 50,000 people instantly, and then the death toll rose from,
Oh yeah,
the
all
results over
yeah.
200,000. It's horrible, just absolutely horrible.
And the funny thing is, Japan, like to this day, is like one of the most ally of the United States, a peaceful country. It's like the bomb wasn't dropped on like Iraq or Iran, which is like like sworn enemies of the United States. Which is so when you look at the only place that the nuclear weapons ever actually been deployed against a civilian population, it's actually against a pretty in general peaceful. Because I mean, you got to assume not the whole country of Japan is for the war. I mean, it's just they're just the leadership.
Right.
So I mean, but they're obviously collateral damage. Just like a lot of good people in Iran and Iraq. It's just those crazy Ayatollah motherfuckers that are ruining it for everybody. But yeah, I think they have Western values and concepts. They just can't. They can't say it out loud because you got these nutbags who are running. Who are running the government.
Vote for Ted.
Vote for exactly. Yeah.
So here's where I'm going. I'm going to make my point before we get way off topic again.
Mm-hmm.
Too late.
So the nuclear warheads we have now, one warhead on a missile, if it detonates, it's equal to it's 3 times more powerful than every single bomb dropped during World War II,
How can it not be?
including the 2 atom bombs.
Yeah. How can it not be?
So
I mean, the
one
technology-
warhead,
Yeah.
3 times more powerful than every bomb dropped in World War II, including the atom bombs.
That's some scary shit, man. When you think about the stupid, I mean, when you think about
Just one.
yeah, when you think about
3 times more.
dumbass Trump and stupid fucking Putin and that moron from Kim Jong Un
Oh,
from
yeah.
North Korea
Yeah.
and stuff. When you think about these morons
Well, when you
that
when
are
you-
in charge,
and when you think
that is
about
some scary
when you
shit,
watch the
man.
movie and you watch how they made the atom bomb and how
Yeah.
much plutonium and everything they had to mine.
Spinning the centrifuges, all that
but
shit. Yeah,
so when
yeah.
you think about how much it takes to make it,
Mhm.
and then you look at the resources of other countries, North Korea.
Well, that's all they have. I mean, North Korea is basically supported by China,
Well,
and
Russia.
so while their people starve, they're obviously building up their army because I mean, all they have is that nuclear weapon to threaten the basically the world with.
It's a hell of a threat.
Yeah, and the funny thing, like when we made that deal with Iran or Iraq or Iran, like don't make a nuclear bomb. You don't think they're building that shit underground? So like a 300-foot bunker underground out of the sight of the site of the
of course
radar
they are.
and the
Yeah,
satellites.
but
of
we
course
know-
they are.
we
Yeah,
know what's going
we'll
on
take the we're
underground.
going to take the UN peacekeepers here. Hey, look, we're not building anything. We're actually building it over there. Well, you can't see. Yeah, it's called misdirection.
Okay, so
Shit
this
for
this,
brains.
this is very sad, and I don't want it to be sad anymore. So
Okay.
so we're going to put an end to this.
Oh, we're going to talk about happy stuff.
No,
Okay.
we're not going to talk. We're going to talk about final thoughts, Ted,
Okay.
and we're going to let you go first.
We covered a lot of topics tonight.
We
and-
covered a lot of shit.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yes, but I need your last thoughts, Ted.
Roger, I want you to know.
Roger, don't talk about nuclear bombs.
Small talk. There's a lot of as you can see by our shows. There's plenty of topics out there where small talk's involved. So I would just say when you engage in small talk, just know your audience. So if somebody gets triggered by a certain topic, would just want to avoid that topic and just keep most topics benign and friendly. And you can talk about those topics for hours, especially if you have a couple of drinks in you. So you can repeat the same things and people won't know the difference. So and now you're a small talk expert.
Wow. Is that the first time Ted followed up on a tip at the end of the show?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the first time he remembered what he said. So I'm pretty impressed.
Well, he's got notes in front of him.
Yeah,
You
all right.
can't read it though. He crossed them all out.
Wait, yeah, it's some of that is actually written in a foreign language. I have no idea what language it is. Most of them are hieroglyphics, just so you know.
Yes.
All right, Mark, last thoughts.
Man, I mean, I like the true crime that we're doing, but I will just say this to
To be
everybody.
truer. Let's make it truer.
Huh? Yeah.
Ted just
So-
keeps drawing obscene pictures.
And showing them to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I would just say that the whole thing about the sharp stick creating a hole in the human body is typically not going to fly nowadays, especially with a Glock 9 in the vicinity. So true crime, I don't know, man.
It's mostly true.
This is not. I mean, it is true crime, but this is like almost like comedy in a way.
It is.
But it's real. It's true. It's sad. But when you read, when you hear these stories and you talk about them and you read them and you send them to us, it's like Keystone Cops or like just comedic crimes being committed and good cops. So it's either bad cops or good cops.
You know what? That's
Or
actually
you just have average cops who just
just an average.
want to
and
do their
just a-
job and go home. They
so
don't.
so what? So he walks in and one guy says it's a stick, and he goes, listen, I'm no genius, man. He goes, there ain't no stick sticking out of this guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the stick?
Yeah, yeah. You know what we're missing? The only thing we're missing here, stick. Yeah, that's it, man. I love your theory. It's good, solid police work.
I thought they were gonna say he was impaled. I thought he was like impaled on a stick, where the stick is actually sticking
there
through
was
his
no
body.
stick.
There's no
There-
stick.
there was no stick. Yeah.
There's just
So I'll just finish my final thought by saying, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Captain Dan, you ain't got no legs. that's my final thought.
Captain Dan. If you're gonna kill him, you ain't got no stick.
That's your final thought.
You ain't
Mine
got
is
no
don't
leg.
go chasing waterfalls.
Oh man, that's a great song. Especially if there's a sharp stick around and you slip and fall. You don't want that anymore. All right. So I will just leave it like this, and I'm going to leave you with some thoughts. Okay. Here we go, and I'm going to make it fast, and we're done. Less than 0.5% of the people in the world are transgender. Are you ready for this? I'm sorry. In America, less than 0.5% of the people in America are transgender. 40% of the people in America are obese. 11% have diabetes, and 22% have some form of mental illness.
So what does that add up to?
You know what that adds up to? Why do we care about that 0.5%? Why are we focused on 0.5% when there's so many things we can solve that are actual problems?
I thought you were going to say, and what they all have in common is they all have a podcast.
They do not have a podcast. I'm just throwing some numbers out there for you to think about.
Yeah.
Think about those numbers, and then think about all the people that are screaming things and yelling things and saying things. That is our final thought. All right. Listen, have fun. Hopefully next week we're going to talk a little magic and witchcraft with a real live expert. And don't listen to Mark. All of it is real.